nobody goes down. That's the important thing because they're defending right now. If they can stay alive, they're closer. If they recall and heal, they can get back to this fight immediately. The side of Cyanide that are pushing, they can't do the same.
Try as they might, they can't seem to really put any siege under these towers, which is surprising with Crixie on side. You'd imagine in that case, it's a matter of just sitting there and waiting for the poke. However, you're up against Neil Fails on this rack. If you get too close to this Crixie, you'll be under that tower, you'll be CC'd, and because you're so squishy, you'll be going down in no time at all.
Yeah, and the thing is, Team Cyanide, they went for the siege, didn't quite work out immediately, so they go and grab themselves an objective instead. Look at this damage, this is just 3 of them, and they're still doing a great job, but Player 7 gets CC'd up, and they're gonna trade the damage back on through, but Crixie's on the back line, doing a huge amount of damage, trying to finish these kills off. Neil Fails can't quite finish the kills himself, gets 1, but is it gonna turn into anything more? The answer is no, as he's defeated. That kill goes over the way of Player 16. And it's a 2-for-1 in favor of Team Cyanide. Speaking of Cyanide, gets himself a kill and a tower, and now he's looking for more.
He's got to try and focus on the tower here. Don't want to underestimate this Alice and her potential to either melt you down or at least stop you from taking that tower. Much better to back away and look towards it as we saw last time around.
Look for that red buff there, the might buff. Be able to give that extra damage to the slow that you get from that one as well. And now we see Team Cyanide, they want to finish off the last of these tier 1 towers. They want to take this objective and make sure that they've opened up the map for themselves. And Player 7, he's found a random opponent running around the map, but won't be able to finish off the kill.
It's good there, very, very good with his CC, but much better than the team.
Player 16 managing to flicker on out of that one, just about escapes with his life, but Cyanide stunned. This could be the opportunity, but here comes Fresh. Look at the AoE damage. That's going to be 1 kill coming on through. Neil Fails has got nowhere to go. There's a second one. Crixie won't even go down for her trouble. There's another one. Dominating is going to be that Crixie. And there we go. 4 kills for nothing. Team Cyanide are starting to run away with this one.
Deja vu, but this time in the top lane it's a Valor on her own. We said before, there's no way she can stay under this tower. She will get melted down and die, and that's an ace coming through for Team Cyanide. 18-5 on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and this is what we spoke about earlier. When you get tanky like this, when you get to the later stages of the game, those towers, they're not going to be able to save you much against these tanks that can just walk underneath and dish out huge damage. And now that is going to be this final base tower going down if they can grab this. I don't know, the players are here. Neil Fails might be able to get a nice hook here and could find a kill. Doesn't quite get it in range.
Too speedy, Player 7 here charging away. And what a game he's had so far. You look at the Crixie, who's on 6-0 and 8, but 5-1 and 9 on Player 7. It always seems, once he enters a fight, it's a magic turnaround. The engage!
The opportunity, they managed to get a hook, pulling someone away from the rest of the team. They're going to jump onto this one. Can they finish the kill, though? It's so important that they do, and they manage to get it. That's the healer as well. The support has gone down. Kresh jumping onto the back line, trying to dish out the damage, trying to disrupt. They're managing to escape with this one. Cyanide doesn't have the damage. Where is the Crixie? Crixie's in the bottom lane. They don't have their damage dealers. This could be huge for the side of Neil Fails. They need to finish off these kills ASAP and get down to the bottom lane to defend their towers. The Kresh is going to fall on this one. The CC is there. There's 3 kills for Team Neil Fails.
We said at the very start they were trying to build around this Crixie. That was their hope, was let's get Crixie fed, let's get her ahead, let's make sure she can do her damage. What happens when you don't have her? You have 3 tanks and a support. That is no way going to be enough to be able to wipe out a team of 5, and they get themselves completely clean swept the other way.
Now we're getting to the point in the game where the death timers are going to start to rack up. You can see still 20 seconds on that Kresh player. Obviously, he died a fair few seconds ago, so we're getting to the point where if you do end up losing out one of these team fights, it's actually a significant detriment to you. And look at the gold difference now. We're on, what, 3,000 gold difference between these two teams? That was a lot larger a few minutes ago. So Neil Fails, they're actually coming back on into this game. There is serious potential for a comeback on our hands.
Misplays such as these can cost you dearly, but you can still see that Neil Fails' team are quite afraid. Sat back here on their inhibitor towers, just do not want to step away from them in fear of being jumped on with the Crixie in tow. However, Player 3 is very alone here in the top lane.
It certainly is, but does have a good amount of mobility. This is going to be tank versus tank, so neither really dish out a lot of damage and won't quite be able to be caught out there. See his friendly Alice on Player 4 going to be coming to join the fight. Alice one of those support characters, going to be able to do a lot of healing, but also does a decent amount of damage herself.
This may be decision time, I feel, for Team Cyanide.
Oh,
the grab!
Hook coming in onto one player. 7. He's going to be there. Crash doesn't get his ultimate. That is absolutely huge. Can they finish off any more kills off the back of this? They need to get onto player 6 because he's got huge AoE damage. He's got onto the back line and he is melting these health bars. Player 5, the last man remaining, and Cyanide is on the case. There's another kill coming on through. Player 6 tears the team by apart and gets himself a quad kill.
Cyanide finds himself getting dropped down by the tower, though, so although they win the fight, they still lose 3 men. And that grab, it was fantastic at first, but it wasn't the right target. Crixie walks in, and we spoke about this before the broadcast Punchables. We said that if a Crixie is ignored, if the CC is burnt at the beginning of a fight, a Crixie can walk in anytime she wants, put her ultimate down, and completely wipe out the enemy team, and that's exactly what we saw happen.
That was just destruction once that comes to pass. Once you can get on into that backline and just pop the ult, you will just melt those health bars. Now Respawn's only just coming in for the side of Neil Fails. There's potential for objectives here, but these will be contestable. They don't have a whole lot of time to grab these. If they go for the Dark Slayer, that's a potential throw waiting to happen right there, because Neil Fails and the squad will be able to contest.
One thing you don't yet have in this game is vision, so they cannot see what they're trying to do right here. So they can very, very easily just sit in a brush and wait for them to approach. They've got to start thinking now. Surely Neil Fails is thinking, we haven't seen them for quite a while. What are they doing? And they're going completely the wrong way. They're going to go and trick the dragon, and they are nowhere to be found. They are on the other side of the map doing the Dark Slayer.
Oh, Alice is just about to discover the bad news, but he's all on his own. This could be very dangerous. Actually, might be able to steal the Dark Slayer. This could be absolutely huge. The Dark Slayer, it goes the way of Cyanide squad, though, and Alice is caught out, gets annihilated. Player 5's got nowhere to run. I can say the same for player 2 as Neil Fails. He's all on his lonely lonesome. And in the meantime, take a look over towards the bottom lane. Player 3 wasn't even in that fight. He was like, you know what? I don't want a part of any of this. I'm going to stay down here.
Yes, unfortunately for Scud, though, there is no tower in that top lane, which means this push could be the game-winning push. They can try and tank the base if they want to, or they can wait for these minions to come through. But Scud, he's got to do something heroic here.
And Cyanide wants to tank the tower right now. Now, bear in mind, the base does a huge amount of damage on its own. So Scud, there's potential to protect this, but not if your health bar drops like that. There's not. That is going to be an ace coming on through for the Crixie. That is going to be a legendary scoreline, 28-12. Final score as Team Cyanide take the win.
And that's 2 to Team Yellow Star, and Team Cyanide here. They're fancying themselves as the superior legends right now. So maybe tactics to be revised, I feel, on the other side for Aki, Loda, and Neil Fails, who now find themselves down 0-2. But a great showing overall. We were worried at first, saying, well, there's no marksman here. They have 1 damage threat, and we saw what happens when the Crixie isn't in the fight. When she was in the bot lane split pushing, it went absolutely upside down for them. They lost the whole thing, but still, the advantage was too great. They had no way of coming back into it from there.
Yeah, and the sad thing as well about that game was after they win the fight, because Crixie was in the bottom lane, the following fight was the same situation, but reversed. We had Scud going in the bottom lane, and it was a 4v5, and they ended up losing the Dark Slayer because of it, and then losing the fight off the back of that one as well. Kind of a heartbreaking defeat for Neil Fails there, because they were quite far behind to start with. Then there was this huge comeback, but it was all for nothing.
Maybe they need to take a leaf out of Cyanide's book here and just walk into the audience and go, who's the highest ranks?
Yeah.
Because quite rightly so, as he said, I needed someone to carry my ass. He had the Crixie, and that Crixie, pretty scary. And equally, we can't ignore Crash. He was a monster, quite literally a sea monster, all game long.
Yeah, there was one fight where he got taken out, and that was
the grab.
Yeah, that was the grab coming out from Neil Fails. They managed to take him out first, and that was while Crixie wasn't there as well. So, oh no, sorry, Crixie was in that fight. That was the one that they flipped around, and he charges in with the ultimate. But yeah, it was definitely a crazy game. A lot of great plays coming out from Team Cyanide, especially. Neil Fails did his very best with those hooks towards the late game. He was certainly managing it. If he had managed to get a hook onto Crixie, though, towards the later stages of the game, that easily could have been a game going their way.
It would have been the one, but just couldn't make it happen. Admittedly, smart positioning coming through from Cyanide's team, always making sure that Crixie was safe, making sure that she wasn't the one to get picked off. And in fact, the best thing they probably could have done was just ignored the team for a while and hope that Crixie went off to split push, because it seemed otherwise, when she was around, there was no way they won a fight.
Yeah, and to be honest, with that composition with just this single damage dealer, I'm surprised it was so successful. They managed to pull it off, but we have an interview on stage with our winners of our new iPhone 7 Pluses. So let's pass it back over to OJ.
Thank you so much. You are not wrong. We do indeed have an interview to find out what happened. And while this is going on, Aki and Loda, I believe, are out in the crowd selecting the next team. So if you want to play, did you get chosen last time? Rico Man didn't get chosen. I'll make sure you're on the next team, believe me. If you want to play, next up, make yourself known to our captains. They will be selecting the teams right now as soon as they go out. It will be happening, believe me. So first off, man, what happened?
I guess they were just better than us.
That is too simplistic. What happened?
I just didn't hit enough hooks, I think. I think if I did a better job and hit more hooks, and if my team followed on the hooks, we would have won.
I love the fact that our captains, our legends of the MOBA world, are taking it upon themselves when they get stomped. Talk me through the game, how you were playing it, the way you tried to approach this match.
Well, we wanted to basically do two on each lane, just so we could stomp each lane. We were hoping they were going to go jungle, which they did, and we were hoping to take control of the lanes, but we didn't get enough control. So when they started ganking from jungle, we just couldn't deal with it, and then we eventually just fell behind, and we couldn't come back.
Ah, hard lines. So talk me through your man here, because you have chosen your MVP. What were you looking for in your MVP?
So I feel like usually supports don't get enough credit that I feel like they should be getting, and he was doing a really, really good job as a support, so I figured, I'd give it to him.
Good shout. What's your name, sir?
Mario.
Mario, is he right? Supports don't get enough credit?
Often, yeah, very often in MOBA, supports getting recognized as good as they are.
Why do you think? Why don't supports get recognized? It's always the glory boys, isn't it?
I guess it's because they are just helping and not getting the kills, and that's why they get not recognized, because they don't show off at the scoreboard that like a carry or something like that.
Well, Mario today, just hold that for me, the supports, they get recognized. Thank you, take an iPhone 7. Mario, our MVP from this side. Get that back, you lost. Man, that was good. This side, the legends on this side are doing a great job.
Yeah, I mean, it just proves that us LoL players were just superior to Dota players, so...
Raw. Talk me through how you approach this match.
I mean, I wanted to play Violet or Arthur, but they were really clever and they picked one and banned one probably because like 10 minutes ago I just revealed on the stage that I can only play those two champs, which was in hindsight probably a mistake, but it went pretty well still because my team was good and we managed to win.
So the man stood next to you, he's the person you've chosen as the MVP. Talk me through why you've chosen him, what he brought to your team.
I mean, we were playing like 3 tanks and he was like only DPS, so of course he shined a lot, but I think he exceeded our expectations and carried us, so I think he did really well.
Okay, just talk me through how you enjoyed playing today.
I think I played good, and I enjoyed it well, so tonight I'm going to sleep good.
He's going to sleep good holding this iPhone 7 as well.
Maybe, I don't know.
Okay, here we go, let me hand it over. What's your name?
Niels.
Niels! As the MVP of this team, you take the iPhone 7. Congratulations, round of applause for both of them. There we go, our second matchup is done. We have teams back up here, so let's have a quick chat. You're free, guys, you're free. Go enjoy that iPhone 7. And let me have a quick chat here. Talk me through how you selected your team, what you were looking for in your team.
Professional players.
Okay, are these guys professional?
Yeah, for sure.
What ranks are they? Have you tried to find the best players out there?
I don't know, but I'm sure they're super good.
Okay, super good. That's a lot of pressure on you boys. So that's one team. Let's just rush over to the other side to find out if there was any rhyme or reason in how he selected his team. What were you looking for this time in your team selection? What were you looking for in your players? No way, Dave!
I was looking for some good-looking guys that could sell themselves. When we got to the stage, I realized that they were all playing AD carry. But I think that's the secret, right? You have 5 carries, and in the end, you will carry.
You do know the guy to your right is a FIFA pro, don't you? He's a pro on FIFA.
I don't know. I have no idea. What team does he play for? Oh, really? Really? Okay, that's cool. Maybe you can come to Sweden and play against one of our FIFA players?
It's probably going to happen, because this is Dave, by the way. First ever man to be signed to a football team, plays for Wolfsburg. Dave,
Hello.
What are you doing over here?
I've just got bored of FIFA, you know. Like, I've been in the EA lanes for a couple of days now. Thought, you know, I might just wander out, and here I am.
Well, because I didn't realise you were here, but you're wearing your Wolfsburg top. Talk me through this game. Who are you going to go? Who are you selecting?
Valheim is probably the only guy that I've ever used, so let's see how it goes.
Dave, I am excited to see Dave, by the way, play. Very good FIFA player. Let's see how good he is at Arena of Valor. And with that, if they're ready, which I assume they have, they've had their sushi, their filtered water, which they demanded, which was chilled to a beautiful room temperature. Otherwise, things would have been thrown. Let us hand over to our casters.
Honestly, would have been furious without my room temperature water filtered for us. But we are ready to get into the third game of the day. My name is Munchables. I'm joined once again by Desertu. We're ready to get into more action. We've seen a couple of different compositions already coming out from these different teams, and we're already rushing straight on into the picks and bans. Now, this is going to be an interesting game because we have Aki on one side, we have Loda on the other. Now, these guys, former teammates, this is going to get personal.
It may well do, and that's what the exciting thing is as well, is that they know each other. They've been inside each other's heads. They know how each other thinks, how they play. Now, maybe it's the opportunity to think, right, if I was ever going to play against him, how would I play against him? How would I deal with the kind of competition that he might go for here? And they probably know the style of play that they're both used to, know what roles they've played previously. Let's see what they go for. And already Batman coming through for the first time today.
Yeah, you can see Murad has been banned as well. Murad, another one that's incredibly strong, but Batman, very, very strong right now and can really run away with the game. He's going to be one of those assassins that, if you can play it correctly, you can do some serious work. But Grak is going to be locked in alongside Pura. And obviously, Pura has been that healer that definitely the priority support with Alice in second place so far. But Grak, we saw Neil Fails last game having huge effect on that Grak if he can land the hooks. We'll see whether that's going to be able to happen here, but Azankar and Violet look to be the picks coming out for Team Aki.
Azankar, in my books, is one of those very interesting heroes that you don't expect much from because he looks pretty calm when you see him moving out the map and he throws out a bit of sand and you're like, okay, it's no big deal. The CC and damage potential he has in his kit, especially like Crixie once you get towards the 7 or 8 minute mark, is absolutely terrifying.
We're going to see Valheim and Illumia coming on through here. So we've got a marksman, a mage, a support, and a tank coming on the side of Team Loda. So very balanced. We've got Ignis locked in alongside an Arthur. And we have, total composition, we have 2 mages. We've got a marksman, an assassin, and a warrior. So a very squishy composition actually coming out from the side of Team Aki. Obviously they have the 1 warrior, but that's kind of it in terms of big health bars. So we'll see how that's going to work out for them, whether they survive these fights.
Yeah, I was speaking to Aki on the way here this morning, and he did say, what have you been playing? He was like, Ignis. He said, Ignis is what I've been playing pretty much exclusively. So if he doesn't completely ruin this game with Ignis, I'll be incredibly surprised.
Let's have to see how this one's going to pan out. Another warrior locked on in for the side of Team Loda. So bit of a beefier front line for them, but obviously going to be slightly less damage coming out from them as well. So we'll see. And that's interesting, isn't it? Because it was Loda that said he got onto the stage and realized his whole team was carry players, but they've only got, well, they've got a mage and a carry on their side. On the other side of the scoreboard, we've got like 3-4 carries coming out, so it's going to be interesting to see how Aki can lead his team and whether they're going to be able to juggle aggro in these team fights and dish out the damage on focused targets and be able to use this squishy composition, because often it's quite hard. Well, we do have a raffle going on right now for you guys as well. So if you guys at home want to win yourselves an iPhone 7 Plus or a Google Pixel or some Bose sound systems, you can get involved over at esl.gg/AOV raffle. That is where you can get your hands on some prizes. We've got brand new phones that are being given away, so make sure to get online. Whether you're here in the arena or not, you can join in the raffles, but we are ready to get onto the arena and get back into the game. So let's kick this one off between Aki and Loda.
It's always worth touching on a new hero as we see them introduced. So Ignis is all about that sacred flame inside his torch, casting it out at people as a fireball. And what's very interesting about him is his passive is that every time he damages someone with an ability, it puts a mark on them. And then all of his abilities, if their hit connects with a target that has been marked previously, it does even more damage. And that one you just saw him drop there, if someone has been marked previously by an ability, they'll get stunned. And if he then pops his ultimate on top of that, that does increase damage if they've been marked. So overall, it's a very, very scary combo to get caught in.
Certainly is, but it's all about weaving those abilities and making sure that you're hitting them with the mark, because the mark will be kind of used up when you get that stun. So you have to make sure that you're using the abilities in the correct order and comboing them correctly. We'll have to see how he's going to be able to pull that one off. Loda already going for an invade here. He's looking for player 6. Double buff on Batman, but Loda does not care. Look at this damage coming out here. Playing that Omar and doing a good chunk of damage.
Getting tickled down by that spider as he walks his way through the jungle. Now you will see player 6 turning back in. He really wants this spider, but constantly has Loda at his front door. However, the damage.
He's a level up on Loda right now. I'm not sure this is a good fight
collapse.
for you, Loda. Look at this beautiful team play coming out. First blood goes over to player 6 on Batman.
And even Aki gets involved there as well, gets himself the assist from that kill. He'll be happy with that. More gold, more power to him.
Here's player 4 up towards this top lane. Is he going to that Pura? Doing a good amount of healing for him and his teammate. Gives that regen, not only in health, but also in mana.
I'm still looking through how this Arthur's going to play this one. I'm sure you're watching with very keen eyes here, Munchable. Munchables.
I am plural, I'll have you know.
You're not a singular. I have many. Always watching to see what he does now. He's a very, very good split pusher too, because once you get some cooldown reduction coming through, your first ability, which gives you move speed and an enhanced on hit with your with any auto attack that you do, also stuns and you leap. You can do that every 5 seconds. So you can melt through these towers incredibly quickly, and you're very, very good at escaping, because Batman picks himself up a kill.
Yeah, and this is the thing about Batman. I mean, you've seen the films, you know that he can seriously dish out damage, and he's definitely one to be watched out for, but also, now that he's level 4, his ultimate comes online. Or, I'm not sure if he actually leveled his ultimate or whether it's on cooldown.
I imagine
I
he used it
hope
for that
he
guy.
leveled his ultimate. He messed up if he didn't, but it gives you a stealth that lasts for 30 seconds. Coming back on into this lane right now, getting onto Lodo once again. Good amount of damage coming down. Spin to win. He's not going to be quite enough right now. That's going to be the charge from his ultimate. There's the auto, but a hook on in. The counter kill is going to come out from player 5. No, can't quite finish the kill. Player 16 escapes.
And this is Violet with those rolls and that extra range. It basically doubles her auto range once she uses that first ability. Incredibly mobile, incredibly good at getting those long-range finishes off. And they're off to a brilliant start here. Already 3.5 minutes in and 3 kills have gone aside the team.
Well, that's going to be another kill going the way as well, because Arthur managing to finish that kill off. Aki with a nice roam up towards that top lane. Now looking to grab some vision. Player 3, though, is here. He wants a duel with Aki. He's not going to find it though. Aki not having any of it.
Just struts away in those heels, back to the midline. No, thank you, Aki, not today. Maybe later on when I'm a little bit scarier and can do more damage to you. Maybe when you're not 2,000 gold in the lead either, would be a good time to try and go for that engagement. Batman finished off that first item 2-0. These ganks are going to get scarier and scarier the more he makes himself known.
It's going to be trickier for the side of Team Loader. We'll see whether they can pull themselves back on into this one. Player 2 getting pretty low there, but we'll get a lot of healing coming out from player 4. That is an incredibly powerful ultimate for keeping your team alive. The Spirit Sentinel will be soloed out here by Loader, and this is an objective that you can very easily solo for yourself. You are going to be able to take this one pretty comfortably, especially if player 3 coming up to back you up as well. That's just going to give you a good little bit of
Be careful who kills this one, realistically, because it's the health buff that you walk away with. In fact, it went over to Valheim there. It heals at 1% of your lost HP every second, so very, very good for sustain. Great for junglers who want to stay on high health when they can gank. Speaking of gank, here it is.
No, player 7. Yeah, it's absolutely decimated right there. Didn't even have time to cast that one as they just roam up as a 3 in the top lane and finish that kill off. And that's going to close that gold gap ever so slightly. Just over 1,000 gold in favor of Team Aki right now. And in the meantime, Loda, they're pushing in the mid lane as well. If they can take this tower, they are going to be able to even up this gold gap. That is going to be huge for this side.
About 600 or 700 gold goes over to your team, just over 100 each when you take down a tower. That's why they're very, very important in the early game. Those initial items that really start getting the snowball rolling, enable you to bring your team composition online, are ridiculously important. So any small advantage is incredible. Here was Batman.
Yeah, Loda's been caught out, and that is going to be a kill. Hook doesn't quite land for the side of Team Loda, and that means they're just going to have to back away from this sorry situation.
I never thought in a video game I would say, here comes Batman. It's one of the strange things to say.
For a
It is. It absolutely is. Player 4 in a lot of trouble.
Certainly is. He's going to get finished off. Player 17 grabbing that one. Arthur on the scene, grabbing himself yet another kill. That's going to be that gap increased ever so slightly once again. But the key thing to bear in mind is this gold gap between the two teams. It's about 2,000 now, but it's been kind of going between 1 and 2,000 for the last few minutes now. We've not seen them snowballing that into anything more. So the next few minutes are going to be crucial for Team Aki to actually be able to push that lead and multiply it, make it turn into more and more gold and turn it into objectives.
I was about to say, it's a big risk here for Valheim to stay under tower. Goes incredibly low. Not quite enough. They are indeed very low themselves, so trying to dive in here, not the smartest idea in the world.
Diving towers early on in the game here is always going to be difficult. Trying to bait this one, but not going to be able to find them. They don't get the kill that they're looking for here. Valheim smells a rat, I think. He's going to be going for the recall. In the meantime, Spirit Sentinel should be taken out here by Team Lauder. This will be the second time they managed to grab that objective for themselves. This time the health regen going to go onto Lauder himself.
Indeed, speaking of Team Aki, I mean, Aki himself, he's been pretty quiet thus far. You know, we expected him saying, you know, I'm an Ignis player, I love him, I'll play him any opportunity I get. But maybe you'd put a bit more of a roll away as blind face checks the push down into player 3, but will not find himself getting brought down. In fact, quite the opposite, does get some return damage down, thanks to player 16 being there for the assist.
One of the things about Ignis as well is he's one of these, with most mages, you rely very heavily on levels. So as he levels up, we'll start to see that over the next couple of minutes. He'll start to really dish out damage and start to be able to have a more influential impact on the next couple of minutes of the game.
It's the first time we've really seen the teams all grouped together, so expect a potentially big engage to come through if Team Aki can find it here. They've got to force it soon because of the split push, though.
Yeah, look at that. Omar down in the bottom lane needs to be very careful, or at least his team needs to be very careful not to get caught out while they're in a 4v5, but they absolutely have done. And Violet jumping on forward, trying to finish off player 4. There's a second kill coming on through. Batman grabs that for himself, and it looks like this is truly a dark night for Loda, but there's a beautiful hook. Aki goes down, but the rest of the team are going to follow up. They're happy to go for this tower dive, and they're going to be able to get yet another kill. Loda, the last one remaining.
And so many low health bars blinking there for Team Aki. Dancing around towers is such a risk, but it's so rewarding when you get it right. Unfortunately, Loda does still remain, so no tower to be taken down here for Team Aki. They will have to back away, recall, go to other lanes, whatever they want to do, as long as it doesn't revolve, potentially dying to Loda here under this tower.
Sandstorm! Gets stunned up there, but it's not going to be the end of the world for him. We'll be able to grab himself that relic, heal himself back up a little bit. Player 3 back towards this mid lane. We'll be able to just start to clear away those minions. In the meantime, though, Team Aki, they're not done taking objectives. They're going to grab themselves a tower. However, they are in a little bit of trouble. 3 players going to be looking to collapse on top of them. Player 4 has arrived. Look at this AoE.
Oh, the grab!
Nobody escapes. Doesn't quite land the ultimate, though. I say nobody escapes. Player 7 is going to do exactly that. What a play coming out from him. This sprint on top of everything else pulls himself to safety. There's a nice little slow coming out from his teammate, Aki. They're going to be able to get away with that one. That could have been a lot worse.
Batman may have caught someone out in the jungle here as well. Loda's in trouble.
Batman looking for Omar there. Loda playing that Omar. But just look at this damage. There's nowhere you can go. You can't escape that one. There's another kill coming on through.
Well, that's why Batman is so feared, not just in the DC universe, but also here in Arena of Valor. Don't want to deal with that damage when it comes through. It's a stealth and that aspect of being able to burst out of, well, seemingly nowhere and just melt down a tank. Loda here playing Omar as quite a tanky individual, you know, going for these invades, trying to poach someone out of place almost. It's very risky if you're very squishy. In fact, player 2, what are you doing? There's a Batman here.
That was not a good way to go, and he's going to be finished off immediately. And well, I think he was being a little bit of a joker there, and we'll get caught out by Batman.
Your team has destroyed.
Had to get in there. So when's the penguin coming?
That's already my second Batman fun, so we've got more lined up for the rest of the day. You've got to spread them out, you know.
We have. And what else you've got to spread out? These codes as well. So once again,
maybe
after this grab,
oh no,
he started to the ult.
Oh, that was disastrous, and they are going to be punished for this one. This is the damage coming out from Aki. We mentioned it earlier. There's another kill for Violet as well, and he wants more going underneath the tower there. Needs to be a little bit careful, but it's a double kill for player 16, and now they can look for a tower as well.
Fun thing with Violet is you don't need to go under tower range to be able to hit the tower. That's just how long her range is. Look at the chip damage constantly being ranged down onto the Illumia here. There was a second attention a second ago, just before that fight kicked off. It was almost a segue, and then the fight kicked in, so I had no chance. But once again, that code in the top right corner of your screen has changed. So enter it in the Arena of Valor app and get yourself some freebies. It will keep on changing every half an hour, so keep your eyes open.
It certainly will. Grab that code and smack it on in. You'll be able to get yourself some free swag. But speaking of free swag, it's going to be a free tower going the way of.
Grab again!
Look at these hooks coming on through. It's onto Arthur, not the greatest target to pull into your team, but they aren't going to be punished for it right now. I say that, Violet pushing on forwards. Can they finish these kills? They're going to be able to grab 2 for themselves. It's in a 2-for-1 trade, though.
Just more domination coming through from Team Aki. A couple of times it looks like Team Loader has got some good engages down. They've got the CC and caught out 1 or 2 members. They've got the hook onto someone like the Arthur, but they always lose more than they gain, it feels. They caught out Arthur quite sensibly, but still lost 2 members in the subsequent fight because of the raw damage that's coming through here from the Batman, from the Violet, from everyone else on the team. All of them are damage dealers in this concept when you think about it. Even Arthur, who is their only tank, is still very, very scary in terms of damage.
Yeah, and that's one of the things we were kind of questioning coming into this game was, with this very squishy composition, were they going to be able to be successful? The thing is, if you pull in this Arthur into your backline, he can just get a free ultimate immediately, a huge AoE knockup, and in that scenario, the rest of the team can easily sweep up that fight. So you've got to be very careful with this hook. You've got to be able to find someone, but look at this. Classic Death Brush coming on through here. Just wanting to find someone who pushes up a little bit too far. Could well be Valheim, but he's going to back away from this one. This is going to be intense.
If they face check this one, especially a squishy, but it looks like they're quite convinced nothing's really going on, so just want to back away and leave it out completely. Maybe even aware that even if the Dark Slayer is being started, they can't do it.
Nice by Loda there. He goes close enough for them to want to hit him, but backs away immediately, and they leave the bush. Kind of baited them on in. Loda now has been caught out by Batman, but that's not really the target that they want to be focusing.
You want one of these squishes once again. I mean, catching out Loda isn't a bad idea here. He is their jungler, so bringing him down.
Any catch is a catch, right?
Absolutely.
But you want one of those squishes. You want to kill one of the characters.
Sink your teeth in and bring him down. Look at Violet though as well. 7-0-5 with 8,400 gold per name. She's terrifying, and every single time you see the roll come through, that's a double potential crit shot. If you get a double crit onto a squishy, they're going to be down to about 1/3 of their HP, and it'll only take the wind to blow them over, and they can just steamroll their way through to victory. You've got to feel very, very worried as Team Loader right now.
We'll see whether they can come back on into this game. There's a lot of pressure on their shoulders. Don't forget, there's also competition in between the players as well. The player that gets MVP for each team. Look at that damage. Oh my goodness, here we go. We talked about one-bird combos, and that is going to be what it looks like. There's a nice kill coming out for Aki. In fact, it's a double. He managed to grab both for himself. And with 2 members down, they can now do whatever they want. They can push towers, or they can look for a Dark Slayer.
Mentioned with Violet, it's that double chip damage once again, just showing its colors, and there it is onto the tank. Loda taking away a good chunk of his HP. We saw what happened when it came onto the squishies. Both got slowed, both got dropped very quickly, and Aki has finally turned up. We said, when will we see this Ignis come online? When will he start doing damage? And it's just like every other mage. You give him a little bit of time. Once those spells start raining down, there is no survival.
It certainly is not. That is going to be the Dark Slayer now, with extra damage available to them. I believe 30% increased damage. They're going to be able to tear through these team fights. So it's going to be very important for the side of Team Loader basically to not fight them right here. They need to force their opponents to at least tower dive if they want any chance in the next fight.
But look, once again, the infamous split push is coming through from Loda in this bot lane on his own, ignoring the plight that the rest of his team are facing. In fact, no, he's going to have to recall and deal with this one. May have found themselves their second tower of the game if he chooses to stay, but Batman is lurking. He's waiting for that engage to come through from Loda, and when he does, you can be sure he's going to dive in if they don't go for it now.
Oh, here we go. They were trying to clear the waves, but they're not going to be allowed to.
Oh,
nice hook, though, grabs themselves a kill. That was a nice one coming out from the Grak player right there. And that turns it into a 1-for-1 trade, which honestly, in that situation, Team Loda is more than happy to take.
When you're 20-5 or 19-4 at the time, losing 1 to save a tower is always going to be worth it, every single time.
And also remove a Dark Slayer, but incredibly important to deny that from the enemy team. So they're going to be quite happy to take that trade. They are going to lose a couple more objectives in the meantime, but that's kind of to be expected when you're this far behind, right? You don't have the capacity to go and contend against that Abyssal Dragon, but it is going to be an 8,000 gold lead, almost 9,000 gold in favor of Team Aki. They have all of the tools to finish this one in their favor. The question is it going to be enough? Can Team Loda somehow pull themselves back in?
It's a very, very tall order. They're taking away small objectives here and there, like the Might buff, like the Spirit Sentinel, but realistically, they aren't the game-changing objectives that you want. You want to look more towards an Abyssal Dragon or a Dark Slayer. Both of those currently, or very, very recently, were taken by Team Aki, so they're pushing their advantage in the correct way. However, they are still only 8,000 gold in the lead, and as we've seen in other titles, greater comebacks have come through in history. And although it seems very unlikely, given the way the game is going, given how every time there's a fight, Team Loda have yet to come out on top, the possibility still exists, and we can all hope, the underdogs can dream that we see a Team Loda victory today.
Well, there's definitely potential, but it's not going to be an easy task, that is for sure. Now looking for a tower up towards this top lane. They're going to be able to just finish off these fringe objectives, and now the matter of cracking the base open is going to be the next on the to-do list for the side of Team Aki. That mid lane tower is already incredibly low. That could be the next target for them, but they're very keen on this death brush strategy. They have loved to hide in these bushes and hope for a face check.
It's a Team Aki special. Death brushes all day long. It's worth mentioning though, most players are now starting to get towards the point where they are hitting level 14, level 15. This is endgame. Level 15 is the maximum level you can reach, where all of your abilities are max level, where you ideally start dishing out the most damage possible. And 20 minutes is when not so much a mediocre game, but when so it's an average game is when you start hitting full build. It's when you start to become the real kind of late game threat that teams start to expect. You can see a couple of item slots still missing here and there, where players maybe haven't got as far ahead as they would like to. But you can already see for players like Violet, like Batman, they've already filled up all their slots. And although for player 6, they are two kind of component items he's got in his final 2 slots, he is getting much closer to that famed late-game Batman that can tear anyone apart.
It certainly is. You can see Violet just finishing the final item right there on 12k gold. And when you compare that, Violet individually on 11.8 thousand gold. On the other side of the scoreboard, you have players on 7,000. Like, that is a huge deficit. All in the hands of this Violet player. Player 16 is the one to watch out for in this next team fight.
And then one thing to note as well, that final item that she picked up there is a revive. So if he gets dropped down in these fights, it doesn't matter. Violet will be revived and he'll be able to continue fighting after 3 seconds. So it's just added insult to injury, saying, you might kill me once, but well done you, it does not matter.
Certainly. A lot of pressure on the shoulders of these players right now. And you can tell by the way that the pace of the game has kind of slowed almost to a halt at this point. Team Loda not happy to go anywhere unless they pull a hook first, unless they can get someone out of their comfort zone and finish off a kill early on and turn it into a 4v5. And on the other side of the scoreboard, Team Aki really not committing to any of these sieges because they know how squishy they all are. One hook really will make the difference in this game.
That's what I was about to touch on just a second ago, actually. I was saying for player 5, he is the one here who's got that mantle on his back that he needs to don and just go for it. He needs to be the one to make these plays to get themselves back into it. If you can grab Violet here, it doesn't matter if she's got a revive as long as you've grabbed her under tower. If this game goes on much longer, you'll start seeing these towers falling. Super minions will start pushing in. More and more of the map will be taken over by Team Aki, and there'll be nowhere left for them to go, and they're trying to force the issue here. Oh, big lane though!
Yeah, they've just walked on in. Nobody was home. They knocked on the front door. Nobody answered, so they just went on through the letterbox. The hook isn't quite going to land onto player 16 there, which means that first tier 3 tower will eventually go down. Now Aki trying to finish off this kill onto Loda. Can't quite end his life just yet. That ultimate will heal him back as well. Everybody's still surviving for both teams, but importantly, another tower has gone down. This is very bad news, and Loda's caught out. Batman jumping onto this final tower. Can he finish this one off? The answer is no. He goes down, but the rest of his team following up with the damage. CC onto player 17, but he is so damn tanky. Ultimate on Aki, just dishing out the damage of player 16. Just melts the health bar of player 4 right there. There's a knock-up, and it is enough for him to get away, actually. Player 17 underneath the tower just about walks away with his life, but now they have to finish the Violet or they will lose the game. It looks like Team Loda have just about held on.
They managed to catch player 16 out there with the max range ability coming in from Illumia, but as we said, it doesn't matter. Had the revive up on online, and he will walk away once more. Very, very happy, and they've got all 3 towers now, Munchables. This is danger time for Team Lotto. They lose one fight, they lose one member. The whole of Team Aki could barrel in with super minions and take down the base and win themselves this game.
However, they are still in it. They've clung on by the skin of their teeth, and they need to contest this Dark Slayer. If they just allow this Dark Slayer to go over to the side of Team Aki, they are going to lose the game. They will be out at that stage. You expect Team Aki to just walk that one home in that stage, but look at this, everybody grouped up for Team Loader. Going to be trying to finish off these enhanced minions that are going to come through when your team is defeated.
Dark Slayer, that is surely sound of the death knell for Team Lotto. Yep, this stage in the game, everyone near max build, level 15. Things will die very, very quickly. This is where the game now.
Backing away though. This is good contention actually coming on through. This is a potential steal. This could be the game flipped onto its head. Player 7 has been captured. Dark Slayer, it's going to be captured by Team Aki anyway, but they've lost a member. Batman goes in. He's all on his own though. He's bitten off more than he can chew. He's getting chunked on down. The hook doesn't quite land, but look at this damage out of the Valheim. There's a second kill. It's a Dark Slayer traded for 2.
A look back towards the base as well. There are super minions pushing in, so they need to go back here, Team Lotto, and defend. This is the most unfortunate part.
Oh no!
They can end it! The damage coming through!
Look at this, the base is going to go down, he gets the stun. They've turned onto him. They can't quite finish it. 1 HP! They somehow hold on. That is as close as you could possibly have got. 9,000 is the lead right now. The base on a sliver of HP, but that will regenerate. And Team Aki can't quite finish the job.
Now, what is the biggest thing you fear in this game when you have no towers and 1 hit left on your base? An invisible Batman. Keep an eye out for who tries to be the hero and goes for that back door. It's almost honoring spirit of Peke. Unfortunately, can't be with us here due to him being ill, but wow, this is the game we live for.
Oh, player 17's been caught out. He wanted to go for something himself, but does manage to dodge away from that Grak ultimate. That would have been the end of his reign right there.
Here
but
comes
look at
Batman.
This. Player 6, he's already got his stealth on. This could be the end. Oh, Grak's been caught out. This could be the end even without a backdoor right now. Loda, he's getting incredibly low, just about jumps away, but there's a knock up, and look at this. The base will go down. No hit points remaining. And that is going to be a slow but steady win for Team Aki.
And it was Batman who got the final hit, so he must have walked in at the end there and thought, hey guys, I still did it right. I did the back door, okay? It was all me, Batman, right? But still, that was stellar play. It slowed down a lot from about 15 minutes onwards, where the teams were, it was kind of a stalemate. If you push in too much, you're going to find yourself getting hooked away. If you try and push out as a defensive team, you don't have that tower advantage to fight with the hooks that you land. So it was a very weird kind of mid-ground they were sat on.
You have to admire the patience from Team Aki, right?
Oh, yeah.
Not just forcing the issue because they're ahead in gold. I feel like maybe they could have been more aggressive than they were, but they played it safe because, you know, there was a lot on the line for this game. First of all, Aki wants to beat his former teammate, right? That's very important to him. But also, the MVP of his team is going to get that iPhone 7 Plus, so they want to play the best they can. They don't want to be the one that gets caught out, because that is how you lose your MVP right there. But on the side of Team Loader, you got to be a little bit heartbroken right there. It was so close to getting an incredible comeback, but not quite enough.
Not yet quite seeing these incredible comebacks, which you may have been expecting sometimes. But I think it's almost the smart play from the attacking team and also for the defensive team, you know, turtling down very well. We've seen several times, these towers, they still smack a lot in the late game, and you can't ignore them.
Yeah, now we have a very important announcement for you guys at home. Arena of Valor is going to be kicking off this year in terms of esports, and you guys at home can get involved as well. If you fancy yourself as a professional Arena of Valor player, you can get online and join the ESL Go Force for Arena of Valor. They're going to be starting on the 10th of September, and get this, these online community tournaments are going to have minimum prize pools of 5,000 euros per month. That is an incredible prize pot to be looking at, especially for kind of the base level tournament, but definitely a way for you guys to get involved and become pro gamers. This is your step into the pro scene, so make sure to check that out. That's going to be ESL or play.eslgaming.com/Arena of Valor. That was terrible. Let's pass it over to OJ, a man that can actually speak.
Cheers, buddy. Thank you very much. Man, come on. We'll get to this in just a second. First off, I believe our captains are choosing our next teams. If you want to play up on stage, if you want to go at this Arena Valor and be part of one of our Legends teams, hands up now. Get the attention of one of our captains. If somebody doesn't choose this guy here, I'm not doing any more work today. Sir, please just stand up a second and show us your outfit. If he is not on stage in that boob tube in just a second, I don't know what's right with the world anymore. That is fabulous. That is the best cosplay I've seen, well, until they walked in. So captains are choosing them right now. They'll be walking around. Right, come on. What happened?
You know, for this time I was very confident going into this game. I picked a good group of guys. We had a strategy before the game and all these things, but there was one big flaw. It's that they counterpicked us. They took our hero and we didn't have time to build our new strategies.
You took his hero?
I think maybe he took his hero. I'm not sure. I don't even think Loda can play any hero, so I don't know.
Woohoo! Fighting talk as well. You did almost, we listened to Munchables talking about it there, there was almost a great comeback at the end.
Yeah, I think compared to the game before, we just knew that, you know, better than run around and feed, we tried to make the box smaller. You know, I told you before about it's not one of my strengths playing defensively, but I had to, you know, talk to the team. We got on the same page. It was just a bit too late.
The scene you came from, the scene you played in, your history, are you guys letting that down at the moment?
Well, I mean, in this game, it was us against us, kind of. So no, not at the moment, but the show match will decide.
Yeah, saving it till later on. Now, this is the man you chose as the MVP. Why did you choose him?
The thing is, he went into, you know, the team talk saying that he was the 80 carry, but then he was like very open to switching role to make the decision that was most important for the team to make us work. So that's why I picked him.
What's your name?
Florian.
Florian, what was it like playing with this legend?
It was fun. Actually, I'm not that curious about the news because we tried it and we got far, not as far as I wanted, but no, it was actually very fun and I enjoyed to play with him. And
better to have tried and failed than not have tried at all. Hold this. Hands together. I'm giving it. Oh, you do it. There you go, sir. Take your iPhone 7 Plus, MVP of this team here. And it's another win. You guys are looking strong.
Well, it's my first win, but yeah, it was an easy game for us.
Easy game. Talk me through this chap by the side of you. Why have you chosen him as your MVP?
He was helping us a lot with captaining, like getting the team together, and also he carried us, so obviously he's the MVP.
And if we're talking about which side of the stage, it's currently 3-0 to you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he was saying, you know, come the show match, because that will be happening next, actually. We'll see 3-on-2. We'll have people from the different Legends backgrounds. What's your name?
Timo.
Timo. Who did you choose? Who did you play?
Violet. I played Violet this game.
And what was it like playing with this legend, winning that matchup?
It was very nice. I felt very confident and we just like out-rotated them, so I was very happy afterwards we won the game. Even the minions couldn't close it out.
There you go. Put your hands together for this man here. He takes an iPhone 7 Plus as the MVP. Congratulations. Thank you so much. Good work, my man. Now, we see the teams getting ready on stage. Just a quick mention here. Fabulous choosing of your team. Why have you chosen this lovely lady?
Just for fun, you know. I thought she looked like a capable player, so I picked her.
Good work. And you know anyone who's played on this side currently hasn't won a matchup yet?
What do you say?
Anyone who's played on this side, you guys from the Dota background, no one's won yet.
Yeah, I think this side is jinxed, but I think we can turn the curse around because I'm here, you know.
Okay, well let's turn that around. That is gonna change. And if we come this way to find out the selection of this team, hey, talk me through this team. Talk me through this team because you have selected a fabulous lineup here. Talk me through your team and why you've selected them.
Sorry?
Talk me through your team, how and why you selected them. Doesn't matter, you've chosen a great team, you guys are gonna rock. You're gonna do this, you're gonna do this. So, I believe hair and makeup has been done for our casting pair. They're back out, new hair, fabulous makeup. Munchables, Desert Chew, it's over to you for the next match.
New hair and makeup, but same old Munchables. I'm going to be joined once again by Desert Chew as we're ready to jump on into this next game. This time, it's going to be Yellow Star and Cyanide going against each other. Old teammates, very long time teammates as well. This is going to be definitely one to be watching. I've got to say, Cyanide interviews are some of my favorite interviews to watch.
The guy is just a living quote machine. He comes out with such fantastic lines, and well, what more can you say?
Yeah, he's always on the ball with what he wants to say, and always coming across and saying the right things, saying exciting things during these interviews. I'm going to be curious to see how this one's going to pan out, but already straight on into the draft here.
Be our first ban potentially coming through, but Gangra I'll be surprised by. Not really the strongest, kind of more of a support-based kind of mage, but Vera is going to be knocked away. No one wants to deal with her bursty ultimate, which essentially throws 5 bats at the nearest targets. If you're the only target there, those bats do hurt.
Yeah, they certainly do, and she will be banned away from this one. Nobody wanted to deal with that. We'll see what Cyanide are going to answer with in terms of the bans. They're going to ban Gilda, who it's one of those heroes that is very strong. I wouldn't go as far as to say overpowered, but definitely a staple pick, especially in high elo. But Valheim, this has been something that we've seen a lot of across the course of today, especially later on in the game. You can really dish out there.
Feels like he's a very safe staple pick to go towards, because one of those heroes that as a marksman, Kit is relatively easy to understand. If you get ahead, incredibly oppressive to deal with. So it makes sense in my eyes, and equally for the picks coming across on the other side, we've already seen Crixie once today be the focal point of a team. I'm curious to see what they round this out with. They take it to a second mage, they go for a tank. It's going to be Arthur, once again a Munchables favourite.
Yeah, Arthur, incredibly strong. You can build very tanky and still dish out a lot of damage yourself, but Azankar looks to be the answer that Team Yellow Star are going to be bringing to this table. So that'll be both a marksman and a mage if they do lock that one in. So need to get defensive for the rest of their composition. And it's going to be a nice little tank to finish that one off in the form of Thane.
Yeah, Thane is fantastic in that his ultimate, despite being a full tank, does a lot of true damage. So ignores all armor, ignores all magic defense that they may have built. It will still completely annihilate a team if he finds himself in a strong position.
Batman and Pura both going to be locked on in here. We've seen Pura have huge success over the course of today. That is going to be a support that gives you both health and mana regen when she ults. Can be incredibly influential during those team fights. Batman, an assassin. I believe most of you at home have probably heard of Batman before. You probably know what he's good at.
Very, very good at beating up the bad guys. And in this case, they may not look bad, but they are still his enemies, so he will be dishing that one out. I've got to say, I'm really, really surprised that we're seeing Pura in every single game. Again, speaking to the guys on Discord in between matches, they've been saying, you never see Pura at high elo. Why are the teams so fixated on picking her? And I guess it just plays very, very well into the, we all want to make sure we're healthy, that when we go for a fight, we are at our strongest, and time again, it's working out wonders for them.
I think part of it as well is, you know, support, generally speaking, are very important across all MOBAs. Like, support has a very high role across MOBAs, and that's something that we see less in Arena of Valor so far. But also bear in mind, Arena of Valor has not been out very long, so the meta game is very much not set in stone. You can still have a lot of success on whatever it is that you want to play, on whatever style you want to play. So we'll see. Obviously, it's been very successful today. We've seen Pura have huge success in previous games. If you can get those ultimates off and manage to land those well onto your team, get that healing off, you can win team fights straight off the back of that one. I do just want to shout out as well that we do have some giveaways going on today. ESL.gg/AOV raffle is the website you can head to if you want to win yourself an iPhone 7 Plus or a Google Pixel. Make sure to get involved. That giveaway is going to be going on for a few days, so make sure to head over once again to ESL.gg/AOV raffle.
And everyone would like a new phone, I'm sure. Even if you have an iPhone 7 at present, getting a new one is never going to be a bad shot.
Yeah. Yes.
That means one game. Well, you've got 2 loads of battery there to play the game on if you really want to. If you're really that hardcore and committed, you can play it on your travels.
It's an expensive bit of kit there as well. Like, definitely something that I'd be looking for, but it looks like we are on into the game. So let's jump into this one. Player 16 going to be heading up towards that mid lane, going up against player 3 on the Crixie. We'll see how that one's going to pan out over the course of this match.
Probably the most staple mid lane I think we've seen so far. It's quite common in both Arena of Valor and other MOBAs that you will see the mages reside in the mid lane. It's the shortest lane, means that you're the safest from ganks, and generally mages aren't the most mobile. You expect the mobility to come through from assassins, sometimes marksmen, and oddly in this game, tanks themselves can be quite mobile. Most of them will have a dash of some kind to get involved in a fight very, very quickly and easily. What I love about this, mind you, is it's Yellow Star versus Cyanide in this top lane. Both of them opting to go all guns blazing and try and fight against each other. seems to be so far the Yellow Star is winning. I say that as the Arthur goes in, currently quite low.
Cyanide on that Violet. We've seen Violet have huge success. In fact, Violet was the MVP for the winning team last game, so we'll see whether Cyanide can live up to that reputation. Yellow Star going to be going with a mage this time. Last time we saw him on the Puro, we saw him playing very supportive, but not going to go for it this time. And in the meantime, Player 5's been caught out in the bottom lane. Will be able to walk away with his life, but only just.
Absolutely, and we're touching on that mage actually, as it is a new hero that we have not yet seen today. Yellow Star is playing Natalia, a very good harass mage in the game, very, very good at getting a stun down as well. But no need for a stun there. He did not have enough mana to be able to save his teammate there. I was just about to say his second ability is a stun. Could have got them a kill, but alas, when you're burning mana this quick because you're so desperate to kill your former teammate, you're not going to have much left to save your ally who's being killed by him.
Yeah, we only saw the very end of that fight as well, so it could be that it was on cooldown. We've got action in the mid lane, though. Take a look over there. Batman was trying to make something happen, but not going to be able to quite finish things off just yet. They don't want to go for the tower dive. That's the thing. Early on in the game, the tower's very strong. You do not want to get caught underneath there, and Azakar is going to be able to walk away with his life because of that. In the meantime, player 4 going back towards the jungle.
Oh, Yellow Star's coming in, though.
Good amount of
at least
damage
poking him
coming
away
through there. And certainly a very powerful ability if you can land those magic missiles.
He's
getting caught, though.
Natalia.
Got to fight in the river. Yellow Star 1 versus 3 right now. He's looking to trade the kill. If he can finish this one, it would have been incredible. It's not going to happen, though. Player 3 going to finish that with his ultimate and going to be able to blast out the AoE damage coming on. And player 4 on this Batman managing to get another one. He wants the third kill, and he's going to be able to find it. Can he survive the fight? Not quite. Player 7 answers, but he should be able to go down for his troubles as well. The stun lands, goes back into 3 of them, gets the knock-up, but it's not enough damage in the end. He ends up falling, and they're going to be able to take a blue buff to boot.
It almost managed to pin down Crixie. Still manages to walk away alive, and there is nothing more frustrating as a tank or as an assassin going in there trying your best to get a kill and seeing your target living on sub 100 HP. In this case, lives to fight another day. Maybe try again harder a little bit more next time. Still ults coming online. Every player about to hit level 4 by Yellow Star, oddly enough, who has literally just hit level 4 as I said that. So now the ults are in play again. Cooldowns aren't too large. Players can use them multiple times in the space of a minute. Some of them are a little bit longer towards the 1 minute region. Some of them are as low as about 12 seconds. So you can use them repeatedly in a fight.
Looking at you, Murad. So far, it's been a good start to the game for Team Cyanide. 5-1 is the scoreline right now. Let's remember, right at the start of today, Team Yellow Star, or Yellow Star and that team, whoa, we'll talk about that later as there's already a kill going their way right now. They're looking for more as well, but that's a kill going the way of player 3. But it's a 3-for-1 trade. Just as I'm about to start to talk about the lead coming out for Team Cyanide, Team Yellow Star close that gap immediately.
All it takes is one play, but at least here we're seeing the 2 former Fnatic boys going at it tooth and nail to show each other who's best. And Cyanide has had a lot of poke coming through from Yellow Star thus far, but still finds itself in a pretty solid spot. And this team, although they were ahead, are still keeping themselves in with a fighting chance. Both teams very, very close at the minute.
Certainly are. We'll see how that's going to change over the course of the next couple of minutes. Only a 400 gold difference, which at this early stage of the game, not going to make too much of a difference. Yellow Star has been sort of caught out here, though. Player 2 going to be able to heal up Cyanide, who might just be able to chase this one through. There's the heal coming out from those talents right there. Yellow Star ults in the wrong direction. That was a disaster. And Cyanide is more than happy to capitalize. He's looking for a double kill as well. One more roll would have just about been enough, but it's on cooldown.
Player 7, player 5.
See you later, player 5.
It's like a delayed mirror. Something happens in the top lane, about 10 seconds later it happens exactly as it was in the bot lane.
Yeah, and then we see a solo kill in the mid lane. Not something we were expecting to see there. In the mid lane, usually you don't see people dueling outright like that, but it's going away with Azakar in the end. Cyanide pushing his tower in the top.
He's getting his team some more gold, pulling themselves back in the lead. They were behind by about 200 to 300 gold just before that went down. That's just how close it is. I mean, so far the games today have been pretty one-sided as we've seen them, but this one, it feels like it might be a close one for Jules.
So does Yellow Star trying to get some damage out, but he just can't go toe-to-toe with Cyanide, especially with the healing coming out from player 2. They want to finish that one off, and Cyanide will do exactly that. we have seen some serious Violet play coming out today, but Cyanide is making this look like a masterclass.
It's all about that increased range on the attack, which means no one can even contest with you. There's literally no one with an auto attack that long in the game, so when you do get that stumble down, not only have you surprised them because of the sudden change in position, you've got 2 long-range attacks coming down, which, as we said earlier on, in the late game, they crit as well. So you may find yourself losing 2/3 of your HP in a flash with absolutely no idea where the shots came from.
And once again, it's all down to positioning. If Cyanide can get in a spot where he's able to land those attacks, it can be huge for him, but also on the other side of things.
Great
Here we
ultimate.
go. That's going to be a huge knockup onto player 5. He just gets absolutely deleted. Cyanide jumping on in here, getting some damage back out himself, and it's going to be 1-for-1 so far. 16, but Cyanide's knocked up. That could be huge. He is going to go down in the end, but once again traded. There's a 3-man knockup. Player 7's all on his own, though. In comes the rest of his team, trying to finish these kills off. Look at the low health bars, though. They need to back away.
Close fight overall between all of them, it seems. Anyone could have gone down there. It could have been one more ability, one from Crixie, and a triple kill could have gone over to the team of Cyanide. However, wasn't to be. Yellow Star will walk away the victor of that fight, only by 1 kill though.
It's going to be a 9 up against 11 scoreline right now, with a slight gold lead for Team Yellow Star, but nothing to write home to your parents about, that is for sure. See whether Team Yellow Star can actually turn that into more. What I was going to say earlier was, Yellow Star, when he last played on stage earlier on today, his team was the one that was grouping immediately as a 5 and looking for team fights. This team, this time, it's not really been the same case. They're starting to group now, but this is much, much later than what we saw in their first game.
Absolutely is, but hey, he's the one who goes out and finds the people who he thinks are the best. They say, yep, I'm platinum whatever, I'm gold whatever it might be, and he'll pick them if he thinks they're good enough. As far as working out reasonably well for them. Damage onto Batman knows he walks into the middle of the Arcane Nova coming out of Natalia there. Always one you have to try and avoid because that damage can stack up, and with every time she hits you, she does increased damage on her next ability.
Player 5 going on in. He went a little bit deep there, but the CC is going to land good damage coming on through. Crixie can't quite finish that last kill, but Cyanide can. 4 kills to 2 right there, coming out in favor of Team Cyanide. Player 7 narrowly escaped with his life. This should be a tower very easily, and maybe look for another objective as well.
Be a tower, if not 2 here from through. Will get himself caught out by Cyanide.
Oh, he's gone in for this one. I'm not sure that was advisable. There's the ace coming on through off the back of that one. That was a questionable engage.
It is, and now we're going to see that gold lead accelerate to about 2,000 in the favor of Team Cyanide, besting his teammate, his former captain, bringing his team into the lead. Looks like his strategy of just finding those brilliant players from the audience seems to be working quite well.
It certainly does, but it's not that significant of a lead. It's only 1,000 gold ahead, so still plenty of time for Team Yellow Star to pull themselves back on into this game. But the question isn't really about gold right now. It's about whether or not they can find these kills, and it looks like they might have found one onto Cyanide. If there's one way to take out a team, it's finish off their captain.
7 ahead, and the rest will fall, or so they believe. At least with him down now, you can do a bit more coordination. This is one that we probably haven't really considered, but we have considered Batman dying in the tower.
Look at this damage. CC coming out from that one. Azankar, you mentioned it before, the CC he offers in those situations is phenomenal. That's 2 picks in a row for Team Yellow Star, and that has immediately closed the gap that Cyanide had managed to open up in terms of gold.
And Batman as well, he's been a level ahead of pretty much everyone all game long. Currently set at level 11, everyone else highest level's 10. But every time he drops down like this, every time he gets caught out, he's just denying himself that further XP to keep that lead going. And we said earlier on, if you're playing Batman and you're ahead, it's so easy to be super oppressive in these games.
Certainly is. Here we go, another team fight. Player 5, the first one to fall. Look at the damage coming out from Yellow Star right there. Cyanide survives. Player 3 trying to do damage on Crixie, goes on in, but his ultimate has run out right now. He's super low on HP. Can't quite finish these ones off. Him and Cyanide both dancing around the fight. Player 4 on Batman. There's potential for a sweep up here if he goes into stealth.
Just in case you hadn't gathered yet, guys, as well, behind each of these towers, there is a little pad that occasionally, I think it's every 1 minute and 15 seconds, it will spawn a heal pack for the team members to pick up. It will give them a little bit of HP back, a little bit of mana. Nothing huge. It's enough to make a difference as Batman goes for the engage.
Yeah, that was a questionable engage.
A little.
Similar to what we saw earlier on, where we saw Thane just jump into 3 of them. and just gets basically two-shot as he jumps into a group. Cyanide, though, doing a similar thing, trying to finish off these kills, but actually Yellow Star flanking from the side. Beautiful stuff coming out from him. Got the stun, got the finisher, and here comes player 7. Trying to land that ultimate onto 3, gets a knock-up, but will be finished off himself. Here comes the beam from Yellow Star, though. So much damage. Cyanide just about surviving. One more auto finishes him, and Yellow Star gets the best of the situation.
They walk away with 4 kills for 1 there as well. That's a great advantage coming through for Team Yellow Star. That's how backwards and forward this game feels right now. Cyanide has a great fight, and Yellow Star has a great fight. What's really going to matter in my eyes is when does the fight around the Dark Slayer kick in, because whoever wins that fight will be the one who really starts to snowball this game to victory.
19-17. That is the closest scoreline we have seen yet today. This has been an incredibly close run game so far. 3 towers to 3. No Dark Slayers, no Dragons on either side. Still a long way to go in this game for both of these teams. Definitely can still go either way as well. Cyanide, we've seen dishing out a lot of damage in these fights. However, when he gets caught out and when Yellow Star gets these beautiful flanks off, he doesn't last very long.
That's what you've got to try and do, though, is find a way in that works best for the situation. Don't just dive in and hope for the best. There's crazy damage on the Talia's beam. Absolutely insane.
Well, the heal comes out from player 2, so that's going to keep them in this siege situation for now. Cyanide managing to chunk out Yellow Star. Gives him a bit of a taste of his own medicine right there. There is a huge amount of poke damage on the side of Team Cyanide. With the likes of Crixie alongside Violet, you have huge long-range damage coming out from both of them.
And that's what's important, I think, with the long-range aspect, is that it's safe damage. You know, Cyanide, unless he's walking in front of the bush and trying to tumble a different direction, he's not going to find himself getting caught out because he's basically under his tower. So I think it's safe, long-range poke whilst they have the safety of their own towers. When they push out like they have now, and a very, very strong play coming down the mid lane, this is where they might be able to find themselves getting caught out from behind if they're not careful.
Yeah, we are going to see an Abyssal Dragon, but in the meantime, the mid lane towers are in trouble. You can't afford to make a trade like that. Cyanide will be able to delete this tower so quickly. The rotation is coming on through right now. The Cyanide, they have the numbers advantage. Batman is going to be the flanker here. Player 6 getting the knock-up right now. Player 3 can't get his ultimate off. There goes Cyanide. This is a beautiful fight for the likes of Team Yellow Star. Player 4 has not got long for this world. And now they're going to be able to finish off player 2 as well. Just a bit of CC is all they need to finish this one off. And there is going to be the ace for Team Yellow Star. They lost the tower, but what can they get to make up for it?
And needs to be very, very wary that they no longer have anything protecting the base in the mid lane. So super minions will start pouring down that lane. What's their response? Dark Slayer time.
Certainly is, and we'll see whether they can finish this one off with 3 members. They should be just about all right to do this one pretty comfortably, so long as Amankar doesn't actually tank this Dark Slayer, because that's the thing. He does AoE damage, so you got to keep your distance.
Whoa,
and not...
he's so low.
Yeah, that's what you got to watch out for, just getting chunked out like that.
Very, very wary. He's very squishy, and I think very much so needed for the next fight. That damage increase was huge. And Natalia bringing out her ultimate just to make sure it goes down. And unfortunately, the respawns have come through for Team Cyanide.
Oh, here we go.
But
this
not
could
quickly
be
enough.
This could be a massive punish right now. If they can take away these Dark Slayer buffs, that would be absolutely huge. Player 17 is getting caught, but just about walking away with this one. He gets a lot of health regen from that buff as well. And Cyanide can't quite find his targets. Player 16 trying to get the recall, and he will be able to do so in the bush. Everybody gets out alive. It's like a secret agent mission.
They walk away with the Dark Slayer, which was their ideal outcome from that fight. And in 15 seconds, or 14, 13, 12, whatever you want to call it, we do have the Abyssal Dragon coming up, which is even more gold, even more experience to keep on accelerating this lead forward, or potentially for a comeback to come through for Team Cyanide.
Certainly going to need a comeback at this point. 2,000 is the gold lead in favor of Yellow Star, and this is the first time I think Yellow Star has had a gold lead this game. And look at this, the Dark Slayer buffs on every single member right now. That is going to be such a huge advantage in these team fights. They have to focus on the mid lane though, because they've already lost their mid tower. Those supers are going to be pushing.
Look at that damage on the bot lane tower as well. The minimap, it's already about to go down just from a couple of ways. Full health to no health. Those 3 crossbows, they are not what you want to be facing off as a tower.
Yeah.
One on its own can half health the tower, and you've got 3? it stands no chance.
Go though, this could be the fight that ends the game right here with the damage coming on through. We mentioned wombo combos, and that is what it looks like right there. Player 4, he's not getting away with this one, and neither will Cyanide. Trying to dish out the damage, trying to kite around, will fall in the end. Player 5 here is the final man standing, and he will get finished off. That's a beautiful fight. The Dark Slayer is enough for them to win 4-0 right there, and now they can push up the mid lane.
Who cares if they lost even one man in that fight? Like you say, that was the perfect fight for them, or so it felt when you were watching it. But to begin with, they were only 4 at the beginning of that fight. It looked like for a second, oh, this is a really bad engage. They're only as 4. Did not matter. Their combo at the start of fights, the damage that they have, the raw sheer power on these members is far too much for Team Cyanide to deal with. And he probably looks like here will find himself falling down to his former teammate.
Do so. They're not going to be able to end the game right here and now, but they are going to be able to take that mid tower, and that was the important thing. That was the advantage that Team Cyanide had. Now that has been neutralized, but also the Dark Slayer buff is gone. So now we're pretty much on a level playing field once again. 4,000 gold lead in favor of Yellow Star, but this late into the game, it's not going to be that significant.
Absolutely isn't. Look at the scores. The number of assists stacking up on the side of Yellow Star. That just shows you his play style, his team unifying decisions that seems to be winning them fight after fight, fighting as there's no real single massive standout player, it feels. You could argue maybe Yellow Star himself is doing a great job with these Natalia beams, but it doesn't really seem to matter. They still just crush the fights as a unit.
That's definitely been a team effort. Yellow Star incredibly low to start this fight off. It's going to be a good knock-up, though, and they turn things around. Player 4 is going to go down as well. Cyanide drops, and look at this. Crixie getting the ult, but it's not landing onto many, and it's a little bit too late. Player 7 kind of been left on his own, though. The rest of the team immediately back away.
They're all so low as well. And this seems to be the run of the Thematic is, for a few fights now, they've walked away with 3 or 4 members on, you know, sub 200 HP. They've been incredibly close to death, but still managed to make the great escape. And it feels that a lot of these initiations are being done by Team Yellow Star. So Team Cyanide need to find the opportunity themselves to try and make a big catch. Because at the minute, one member thinks, oh, I've got this catcher, I can dive on him, I can try and do something. Doesn't matter when you've got the rest of the enemy team in backing up that one member and ensuring they don't go down.
Yeah, and now that they've been back to heal, they're looking to push up this mid lane. There are no towers remaining. If they push mid, this is looking to end the game, but they've got a huge minion wave over on the boss side of the map, and they are going to head over in that direction now. Bear in mind, these siege minions, they're not great at pushing lanes in terms of minions, but they are exceptional at taking down towers. There's a couple of crossbows there. The rest of Team Yellow Star looking to finish this one off. Player 5 gets shut down immediately, and now comes the rest of the fight. They're diving deep, but Player 17 has been finished off. Cyanide looking to take some kills right here. If he can roll forward, he could do a lot of damage. Gets 1 kill for himself, but 1 isn't enough right now. They've got to finish off more. He's looking to do so. Look at this. Knock-up gets onto him, though, but he's still got his roll. He's still going to try and chase these guys down, but he backs away in the end.
You probably could have kept chasing there because all the members are so low in Player 16. Very close to the enemy recall, but still gets away. Of course, no vision in the bush means they don't know that he's even there in the first place. And another 2-for-1 trade. It seems every single trade is going against Team Cyanide here. And you can see that gold lead starting to slip away inch by inch. 3,000 is the difference. But maybe they're going to at least reduce that by taking away this Abyssal Grove.
It's devastating for Team Cyanide that they didn't just chase a little bit further. He could have finished off at least 2 more of those members, but in the end, make the decision to go for that objective. It's not like that's a terrible decision. Obviously, you want those objectives, but that could have been crucial if you could just get another couple of kills there. They could have locked down so much of the map. And now, I think a key thing to bear in mind is the tower survived, right? When Yellow Star went for that siege in the bottom lane, they didn't actually manage to take the tower.
Twister. Well, I guess the most important point indeed, but...
Whoa! The crit out of Cyanide. See you later, Yellow Star. He's saying, you think you can best me? I don't think so, buddy. And now the rest of his team gonna look for more. Double kill for Cyanide. Player 7 gets stunned up, and he will be shut down. He's tanky, but not tanky enough. That knockup is not enough for his team to turn this one around. 3 kills go the way of Cyanide and his squad. They've got super minions. This could be their opportunity to end. We said this game is all about their late game team fight. fights. The Team Cyanide proving that right now. There goes another kill. There's the ace. And here goes the base as well. That is going to be a beautiful victory for Team Cyanide.
What an incredible turnaround. No one would have expected that coming through unless you knew what Violet was capable of in the late game. That's all it takes, double crit. And that is the end of Yellow Star from the map. The team captain, the head of the snake, has been severed, and the team falls down. Team Cyanide with a very hard-fought victory, but bloody well played.
Yeah, really well played by Cyanide and his squad there, doing an excellent job. And those crits again, and like that was the difference
all it
between
takes.
a win or a loss, and just great team coordination and managing to hold on in that final fight. Just, you know, knowing not to chase for those extra kills, knowing not to push too far and try and steal too much from a small situation, and managing to take every advantage they could. And you know, Yellow Star looked like he was going to take that one. Cyanide took the lead for a large portion of the game. Then Yellow Star comes back on in. They get these sieges on the go. But in the end, it was down to that one final team fight, and Cyanide clinched it for his team.
It is, and with these marksmen, you have to remember that when you roll forward to attack, you will always attack the nearest enemy to you. If there's a bunch of them within range, you'll attack the one who's on the lowest HP, but that wasn't even the case of being in range. He just tumbled forward, and Yellow Star was at the front there, leading from the front like a true leader would do. However, the problem here is you're not playing a tanky support, you're playing the carry for your team. And he got melted out, they had nothing left, and the team fell apart from there. So maybe a little bit of misposition by the legend of ours, but hey, Cyanide showing in his own right why he's also a legend.
I was going to say, that's the thing. Like, when you misposition like that, the other legend is going to punish that and is going to capitalize on the situation. Excellent job by Cyanide and his team managing to win that one. Honestly, it feels like against all odds towards the later stages of that game, but they managed to do it. I mean, Yellow Star and his team, they won what? Like 3 or 4 team fights back to back right before that, but they managed to turn it around, and Cyanide is waiting by on stage alongside OJ.
Cheers, Hun. That was a great matchup. Again, a really good matchup. Things went backwards and forwards. I don't think really we knew who was going to win until right at the end. I'm going to chat to both these teams in a second. After this, we'll have a short break, and then it is going to be our 3-on-2 matchup. We're calling it the rookie matchup. Why, I'll tell you in a second. First up, let's go to you. What happened there? I mean, you whispered to me and said you didn't have time to choose your character.
Well, I mean, actually they played really well, but in my team they fought well as well. We made several comebacks. It was really close in the end, but yeah, there has to be a winner.
At what point did you realize it was lost? Because you kept coming back and you kept coming back all the way through to the end.
Well, when I got caught in the middle.
That was the point you thought, this might be trouble. This is your MVP. Talk me through what made her so good in your matchup.
Well, she had a lot of CC. You know, when we were fighting, she was always here, and it allowed everyone to just free hit. So it was really good.
Fabulous. What's your name?
My name is Hui.
And what was it like playing with this legend?
Yeah, I'm really excited. Thank you for the chance.
It was great. And listen, because of that, just hold that one for me so I can hand this over. There we go. An iPhone 7, madam. That is for you. Fabulous play. Thank you so much for joining us. Which means we have a victorious team. And there was no mercy there.
Yeah, no mercy, man. I don't discriminate.
No, you don't. They did keep coming back at you, though, didn't they? There was a moment where we thought, hang on a second here.
Yeah, I mean, there was one champion I didn't know of the enemy team, and I kept getting kind of screwed over. I think I got like silenced and stunned from range all the time and died, and inted it, kind of. But at some point I realized I had like 5 items. Why don't I just use my ability when I get the super range and never go close? And then I did it, so we kind of won off that since I just got 6 items, because I played this champion a lot before, and I knew at some point you can just like kill everyone from super far.
Fabulous. I'm just trying to look at that. Is a great jumper this man is wearing here. Talk me through, why did you choose him as your MVP?
No, I think all the players did their job kind of, because we just wanted to like peel back and kill the tanks first, and Trixie was doing a good job as well of DPSing them down and peeling for me, so he did really well.
He said you did really well. Did you enjoy that?
Yes, of course.
And talk me through what it was like to play the game, to be on the stage in front of this crowd. There's cameras, there's a spider cam, everyone's got a camera in your face. What was it like?
I was really nervous. I was shaking a little bit, but now it's okay. We won, and that's all that matters.
Indeed, didn't just win, you were the MVP. Sir, an iPhone 7 for you for being the MVP, as chosen by this man here. Which means, a round of applause for both of them, which means we're going to take a short break. When we come back, it is the rookie matchup.
Yeah, we're ready.
The light grows dark.
Perfect.
Yeah, buddy! Yeah. Yeah. That's how we do it.
Yeah! Woo!
Nice one.
Oh my god.
Well played.
Nice. Is it over?
No.
Oh.
Oh, easy. Absolutely no problem. Oh, no, come get it. No!
Nice. High five. Job.
I did something! Yay!
Welcome to the arena. First blood. Double kill. Win. Download and play now. Arena of Valor.
Athanor. Our home. Our ruin. We could not see, no, refused to see the beauty that lay before us, blinded by our rage and greed. So we fight. It's all we know. To preserve what little we have. To save us from ourselves. We cannot afford to fail.
nobody goes down. That's the important thing because they're defending right now. If they can stay alive, they're closer. If they recall and heal, they can get back to this fight immediately. The side of Cyanide that are pushing, they can't do the same.
Try as they might, they can't seem to really put any siege under these towers, which is surprising with Crixie on side. You'd imagine in that case, it's a matter of just sitting there and waiting for the poke. However, you're up against Neil Fails on this rack. If you get too close to this Crixie, you'll be under that tower, you'll be CC'd, and because you're so squishy, you'll be going down in no time at all.
Yeah, and the thing is, Team Cyanide, they went for the siege, it didn't quite work out immediately, so they go and grab themselves an objective instead. Look at this damage, this is just 3 of them, and they're still doing a great job, but Player 7 gets CC'd up, and they're going to trade the damage back on through, but Crixie's on the back line, doing a huge amount of damage, trying to finish these kills off. Neil Fails can't quite finish the kills himself, gets 1, but is it going to turn into anything more? The answer is no, as he's defeated. That kill goes over the way of Player 16. And it's a 2-for-1 in favour of Team Cyanide. Speaking of Cyanide, gets himself a kill and a tower, and now he's looking for more.
He's got to try and focus on the tower here. Don't want to underestimate this Alice and her potential to either melt you down or at least stop you from taking that tower. Much better to back away and look towards it last time around.
Look for that red buff there, the might buff. Be able to give him that extra damage to the slow that you get from that one as well. And now we see Team Cyanide, they want to finish off the last of these tier 1 towers. They want to take this objective, make sure that they've opened up the map for themselves. And Player 7, he's found a random opponent running around the map, but won't be able to finish off the kill.
It's good there, very, very good with his CC, but much better
the
than the team.
Player 16 managing to flicker on out of that one, just about escapes with his life, but Cyanide stunned. This could be the opportunity, but here comes Fresh. Look at the AoE damage. That's going to be 1 kill coming on through. Neil Fails has got nowhere to go. There's a second one. Crixie won't even go down for her trouble. There's another one. Dominating is going to be that Crixie.
So we need to pick the rookies. Honker, who's my stage manager, is going to help me. We're going to find 5 people. He's going to come and give me a hand. Well, I don't know where he's gone. He's run off as always. We'll take you there, my man. We'll take this guy here. We will take the lady over there. Fabulously dressed. Come on over. You guys come up on stage. Come up on stage. Your man, straight out of whatever it is. Come on up. That's 5. Who are Honker? We need 1, 2, 3. That's 4 I've got. And I've got 5 with this lady here. That's 5, isn't it? And this guy, you up, come up as well. Is that what we need? 1, 2, 3, 4. That is everyone. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to work out which side you want to go to. You guys get the choice. So, you, my man, come first. We'll bring you out to the middle of the stage. You have the choice. Come here in the middle. Come in the middle. Come in the middle. And you with the big sword. Come in the middle as well. I know. Which way do you want to go? Do you want to go left or do you want to go right?
Right.
He's going right, he's going that way. He's chosen that way. Next up, you, sir. Which team do you want to choose? Which legends? Do you want to go right or do you want to go left?
I want to go right.
He wants to go right. Sorry, guys, so sorry. Come here. Which way do you want to go? What's your name?
Oscar.
Oscar.
I go left.
He's going left! Madam, what is your name?
Kelly.
Of course it is. Do you want to go right or left?
Right.
She's going right. Take the sword with you and your bag, which means you go there. They are our teams for the rookie match. Please go join, get up there. He's so ready for this. If you want to take your side as well, and we will get this match underway. And to do that, let's go to the 2 best looking casters in Cologne at the moment. Unfortunately, they're not on this game, so instead, let's go to Munchables and Desert Chew.
You cut me real deep back there, man. You cut me real deep. Let's get into the game. Welcome to Gamescom, everyone. Welcome to our rookie match here. So we're going to be jumping back on into Arena of Valor. My name is Munchables. I'm joined once again by Desert Chew. A lot on the line for this one.
There is indeed, and as you say, this time around, it's all the legends being piled onto the map together to see who walks away as the real victor. Which MOBA prevails above all, we will find out, of course, in here. But the rookies, this is going to be the interesting thing for me, is you've now got rookies on side. What advice are we going to see these legends giving to their teammates? Are they going to be saying, right, we want you to play this role and we need you to do this in the game? How well can they execute it? What advice can they give in game? There's so much that you need to consider, and so much I think that plays into potentially winning this one out, and neither side is going to want to lose.
Yeah, and I think one thing that's actually going to play a big part in this game is the fact that when we look at Cyanide and Yellowstar, they've both... Cyanide's won 2 games, one of them against Yellowstar. Yellowstar's won 1 game. On this other side of the scoreboard, though, Aki Loda and Neil Fails haven't been as successful. They have 1 victory between 3 of them, and that was Aki beating Loda himself. So there's only 2 of the experienced legend players on the side with Cyanide and Yellowstar. So they are outnumbered slightly. However, they have been the 2 most successful legends. So maybe that difference won't matter. We'll have to see as we jump on into the arena. Definitely a lot on the line. And I'm curious to see what roles everybody takes, because we've seen some of these legends playing very similar roles. So who swaps to what is definitely going to be a big question mark.
I'd love to see the kind of going back to old style here for the former Fnatic boys and just saying, well, Yellowstar, you were always a fantastic captain. You know how to lead this team from the front. Take yourself a tank or take yourself a support. Meanwhile, Cyanide, let's get something that can just get up in their grill and really start causing havoc. So maybe give him a marksman, give him something like a mage. That could be the style they choose to go for. Or the 2 legends resort to being the more supportive style of play, should we say, and letting the rookies alongside them be the ones who really get to have the limelight.
Yeah, I mean, you could even send Cyanide into the jungle, right? That's something that he's well familiar with, but we'll have to see how they're going to choose to do this one. Cyanide definitely showing his proficiency with Violet earlier on today. But then, on the other side of the scoreboard, when we look at Loda, he had some great Grak play coming out from him, getting some awesome hooks. So maybe they'll be able to pull something like that off. But don't forget, guys, we do have a giveaway on the go. 4 iPhones, 5 Google Pixels, and 3 Bose Sound Sports are being given away right here on the stream. Make sure to get involved. You can join us by typing into your browser esl.gg/AOV raffle. That's how you can enter our competition and potentially win yourself a brand new phone or a brand new piece of kit. And you guys in the audience, you can get involved as well. Crack out your phone yourself and join on that website and get involved. That is esl.gg/AOV raffle. So make sure to get involved. I mean, I definitely want an iPhone 7 Plus, and I know a lot of the players are going to be very happy with their victories today, getting themselves iPhone 7 Pluses. The MVP for either side of this game is going to be walking away with an iPhone for themselves.
It is, yeah. You almost kind of feel jealous that we have to sit here behind this wonderful casting desk commentating on the excellent plays when we could be out there.
Where's my iPhone?
Oh no, where's mine?
Where's my iPhone?
I'm pretty sure you're not allowed, mate. You're an employee of ESL.
Yeah, it's
Here's where we stand.
Disaster. Well, these guys are certainly allowed, and they're going to be going for those prizes themselves. And a lot on the line for these guys. Look at that. That's some awesome makeup coming out right there. I've got to say...
I thought you were about to say it's disgusting. That's not a very nice thing to say. It is awesome
We've
makeup,
seen some amazing cosplay. Speaking of which, we have some amazing cosplay on the stage right there. Kelly Jean dressed up as Butterfly from the game. Obviously, Butterfly actually very strong in game as well. We saw it banned once, I think. I'm not sure we've seen it picked yet today. Maybe that'll be something Kelly goes for since, you know, she is dressed as the character.
You've got to kind of live and breathe it, right? If you really want to get into the character of it, you've got to pick it away.
You would hope so. You would certainly hope so. But it looks like we are going on into the draft. And Crixie, despite not being that common of a pick, high elo in solo queue has been a very popular pick. Batman Bandaway, Derry just pointing me out on the screen there that Cyanide has renamed himself to Yellowknight.
Yellowknight, Yellowstar, Kelly Jean. And on the other side, it's Loda, Neil Fails, Aki, and then, of course, anonymous ESL players.
Let's see how they're going to be able to match up on in this game, but it's time to get on into these picks and we'll see how things are going to start off here. And I'm curious to see what Loda and Aki play during this game, because we've seen a couple of different things coming out from each of them, but definitely more success on these tanks.
Absolutely. I mean, Batman being banned away was an interesting choice, given it was Cyanide, or Yellowknight in this case, who really had a great game with it earlier on today. And while we've seen the effect it can have, why not try and pick it as your first pick? But instead opting, you know what, forget about it. We're going to go and take ourselves away to Alice as the first pick.
We're going to have some brawlers coming on through. We've got Raz, who's an assassin, and Loda going to be playing that marksman on Slims. And now, Butterfly being hovered right now, but by ESL player 7. Is he going to deny Butterfly from Kelly Jean? Because that's pretty hilarious, I'm not going to lie.
and just go, you know what, I'm a pro, I can do this. And in fact, Kelly gets auto-locked in with the Valheim there. Worked out quite nicely because they didn't have a marksman in the first place, so the comp is rounding out quite nicely. But as we suggested earlier on, this may result in the Legends having to now go back and play their more defensive style heroes, go for the tanks, go for the warriors, go for those who want to get up in the mix of things and really cause havoc.
Neil going to lock in that Grak. As to be expected, really, that's something we've seen a lot out of these Dota guys. He's going to be able to have those hooks that can just turn a game on its head immediately. And we'll see what Team Yellowstar are going to answer with. Obviously, you don't get a huge amount of time to actually draft in this game. You get through the draft fairly quickly, so you've got to be on your toes during the draft. You've got to be thinking about it long before it gets time to your pick. But a warrior and a tank going to round out this composition. And actually, the comp from the side of Team Yellowstar looking very balanced in general, to be honest. They've got a warrior, they've got a tank, they've got 2 DPSs, and then they've got that support. And then on the other side of the scoreboard as well, we have 1 tank and a support, and then a marksman, a mage, and an assassin. So a little bit more damage-oriented from Team Loader, but Team Yellowstar going to be going with a much more kind of default composition.
And this is the first time we're seeing Malik getting picked up here for Yellowknight. Might as well call him that all game now and stick true to his desired naming convention. And Yellowstar going for that Thane. So again, this very defensive style hero, it feels. The tank, the CC support, it's exactly what you'd expect from a guy like him, to be in the front line with his team, leading them from the front rather than playing a mage and getting, well, wiped out as we saw in the last game that he played.
Yeah, well, we certainly, we've seen him play CC heavy tanks in the past, and it's certainly something that he's proficient on. We'll see how this one's going to pan out. This is a game that I'm incredibly excited for. We've got a lot of proficiency on the stage right now when it comes to Arena of Valor. We'll see who is going to be able to take the best of their opponents so far. Cyanide and Yellowstar have been the 2 most successful Legends here today, and we'll see whether our Dota guys of Aki, Loda, and Neil Fails are going to be able to even things up, as we are going to be heading on into the Arena of Valor and getting this game underway.
Yeah, like picking up Malik, we mentioned it just a second ago. It's a very, very interesting hero because he almost functions as a tank, but also plays as more of a drain style, so it's more likely to build damage and try and rely on his abilities, which most of them will restore HP in some capacity when they connect, same as his auto attacks, and that's what we're expecting to see from him. So again, another very in the front line style. There he is right there, looking very scary and intimidating with that sword.
Very beefy kind of demon on the field. We'll see how he's going to be able to turn this one on its head for his team. We actually have 1 player going straight into the jungle this game. We've not really seen a huge amount of jungling, to be honest, across the course of today. It's been probably the least popular role, but definitely if you have a good jungler, it can really impact the game and can really set you up for success. But nice bit of teamwork there to grab that spirit and get the vision for their team.
Absolutely. The butterfly in the jungle is very, very impressive post level 4 because her ultimate allows us to blink straight onto... Oh, whoa, hello.
So, pro tip, don't get hooked. That's my advice for you there, Alex.
The worst thing here is you're in a 2v1 as well. This should never be happening, ever.
Yeah, but if you get hooked under tower, like we've all been there in whatever game we love to play, there's always a hero that does that. And Alice is going to get punished very heavily for that situation. There's going to be first blood going the way of Neil Fails.
And that terrifying Grak. That hook, it's a dream ender.
Certainly is. Well, we'll see whether they can pull themselves back together off the back of that one. Yellowstar going to be on this Thane, going to be able to get a bit of CC alongside this Alice. With a tank and a support down in this bottom lane there, going to be pretty difficult to kill unless they get hooked under tower. There was a kill go in the mid lane, I believe that was, in the way of ESL player 5.
Team Loader find themselves in a good spot so far, then 600 gold up. Still not a massive point because they're only 2 minutes 15 in, but it's still 2 kills on their side that they wouldn't have otherwise had and haven't had previously. Maybe it's their time to shine. The trifecta, once it comes together, the 3 players, Neil, Fails, Aki, and Loader, is all they need to win this one away. Here's Raz behind them, though.
Yeah, he's kind of on his own, though. Will get knocked up right there. Yellowstar dodging a lot of that CC, but takes a tower shot for his trouble. Have to back away from this one. There's the laser coming on through. Raz jumps on back in, and there's a nice kill coming out. Team Loader starting things off strong, 3-0.
So we want, and Raz is one of these really oppressive solo queues. Oh, that grab was so close to catching out Butterfly. But Raz is one of these very, very aggressive, mobile heroes that you might often pick in solo queue, purely because once he gets rolling and starts moving around a lot, his abilities are so damaging. Often builds ability power, interestingly, rather than going for something like physical damage, because those abilities could just hurt so much as he steps through them.
We'll see whether they're going to be able to use those abilities to their advantage and turn that into something. 3-0 lead, though, for Team Loader. Certainly a successful early game for them. A lot of AP on their side, or a lot of magic damage at least. Neil Fails actually in a 1v1 right now with Alice. Will be able to get the CC down. He doesn't have any teammates nearby, though. Doesn't have a huge amount of damage himself. That's the issue when you run with this Grak. Yes, you have the CC, but you can't really finish people on your own.
He's always great because he stuns them and holds them in place and does damage, but unfortunately the damage isn't a lot, but Butterfly's damage is quite a lot. And we discussed her a little bit earlier on. One thing we didn't really expand on is that if a kill or assist happens near her, all of her cooldowns are reset. So she can pretty much just start rolling through people once she gets the first kill with her ultimate. And well, it's dreamland to be an assassin when people are starting to die around you that often that your resets are constantly going off.
It's an incredible feeling when you can start to get that ball rolling as Butterfly. Rat's actually in a bit of trouble here. That vision, you see that orb following, that gives the enemy vision of your jungle. That's from taking those Spirit Owls in the river. Just trying to avoid that one so he doesn't get spotted out and finished off. But look at this, that is going to be a player finished off. Yellow Star grabs himself that kill in the mid lane. And this could be an attempt on the tower.
The tower would be a nice way to get themselves back into it. They are about 800 gold down still, so not really accelerating at the rate they would have hoped. Kelly Jean caught out.
That's not a good direction to go, Kelly. She is going to get finished off for that one. Maybe should have just hit the tower instead of walking past it. But now Yellow Star, he tried to save his teammate and he might have just put himself in a pretty precarious situation right now. He's going to end up going down as well on this one. Good bit of sustain coming out from him, but it's not quite enough in the end.
No, and this is the bait. This is the bait I like to think is that you can take the enemy's regeneration spawn that happens behind their tower. So it's very easy to think, oh, I'll keep on hitting it as I walk past it, pick it up and then walk back. However, it's a risk, and as we just saw for Kelly, it didn't work out the way she intended.
Certainly did not. Yellow Knight in the meantime, pushing up in that top lane, trying to be that split push role, but good communication from him and his team. They ping that people are missing. They let him know that everybody is rotating on up, and so he goes and hugs his tower. So we're already seeing these players kind of play to a higher level than what we've been seeing from them in the past.
Neilfeld's missing down that hook, and I think the strategy element you were talking about just there, it's exactly what we're starting to see in greater detail as well. But then I guess when you've also got, you know, a number of former pro players or current pro players who've had experience playing in styles like this on MOBA games, well, they're going to be bringing it into effect, and here comes Butterfly once more.
Yeah, he wants to go for this one. We'll teleport forward. One more hit should finish the kill off and reset all of his cooldowns. This could well be a double, and it will be. Nice bit of play coming out right there. In the meantime, there were hook lands from Neil Fails, and it will trade for one kill, but it's not enough to match the double kill coming through for Cyanide.
Now, I wonder where we've seen this one before. Literally, the first kill in the game was a hook in the bot lane onto Alice under that bottom tower, which saw her going down and giving away first blood. So need to be more wary how close they're getting here. Neilfall's getting engaged on. Yellow Star might be out of position, though.
Look at the damage Yellow Star can do, though. Here comes Butterfly, looking to finish these kills off, but he's CC'd. Can he do it? Gets the reset, gets the double kill, and that is why Butterfly is powerful.
The resets are always absolutely huge on that passive. All it takes is one to get the train rolling, especially if you can hit multiple people with your first set of abilities, because of the lower health, you're more likely to get the reset from your second rotation, and before you know it, you found yourself rolling through the entire enemy team. So as you probably suggest just by watching that gameplay, a fantastic snowball champion. If he gets ahead, it's so easy to run away with the game.
And also, if you just start the fight off correctly, you can not only snowball in terms of, like, over the course of a few minutes build up more and more gold, but also in a single team fight, even if it's even, if you can just get that first kill before them, get that reset, it can net you so many more kills, and that can be enough to just win the fight on its own.
Maybe close to Alice coming in here.
So it could be Alice. We'll have to get away from that one. Dodges away from that hook. Butterfly has arrived as well to try and save her teammate. Two of them here, but the tower barely any HP. In the meantime, though, player 5's in trouble. They have been collapsed on themselves. Oh, nice triple knockup. There's the stuns coming on through. Kelly Jean, first one to fall. Cyanide is going to go down as well, but here comes player 7 on the Butterfly. But you can't go 1v4, my friend. He gets shut down, and it's 3 kills going the way of Team Loader.
They finally find the fight they want to start driving this advantage further forward, and again, a couple more misplays coming through from Team Yellow Star means they lose yet another fight, and they can't afford to be doing this when towers start dropping. This is where advantages really start building up against you. When Raz goes in once more, it's that uppercut and dash is so quick, it's so hard to predict.
Can I just point out as well, this entire time, Loda has been split pushing in the top lane. He's going to be able to get himself another tower right here. This is absolutely huge for him and his team. Loda he wasn't needed for that fight. He could just sit over in the side because they get that catch, because they collapse perfectly.
It's quite interesting that really they've got all these towers elsewhere on the map except for the ones in the bottom lane. So surely it's a rotation coming in sometime soon. Likely again, like you say, for Yellow Star, get down there, get down there, start pushing that in, and just get yourself total map domination and basically do what they've had to experience from Yellow Star and Cyanide all day long. Start turning things around.
Goodbye, Cyanide. He has been caught out by the hook. Can they finish things off though? Aki goes down. This could be the reset. City coming out for the butterfly. Look at them turn this fight around. Neil Fell suddenly alone. He goes down. And that is a beautiful team fight coming out from Team Yellow Star. After Cyanide gets caught out, it's a clean sweep.
And look at how many towers they have on the map available to take. Every single lane is still standing here. They're opting for the mid lane one because they wanted to try and force it down and get more map control, weaken the stronghold here of Team Loda. It's not going to be enough to completely swing the game back in their favor, but it is going to be enough to make Team Loda think twice about going for these engages again.
Certainly will. They can only get the one tower though. They would have loved to push for more, but respawn time is still very short at this early stage in the game. And this is another game that we're seeing where we have an incredibly close scoreline between these two teams, 10 versus 11. And the thing is, like, you have to wonder what happens in that fight if Cyanide hasn't been caught out right at the very start. If Butterfly can't get the reset straight off the Cyanide and turn that into big AoE damage, like, can you still snowball the fight in the same way? So that's going to be one of the questions for these two teams is how good are you at staying safe in these situations?
You can already see them playing a little more defensively now. They are keeping an eye around this dragon though. The Abyssal Dragon, of course, the XP and gold that it gives, a pretty solid advantage to have on your side once you pick it up. But the Dark Slayer, they're looking to try and start this. That would have been a very big risk this early on, I feel.
Yeah, the Dark Slayer would be risky, but, you know, with all 5 of them there, they actually could go for that. But they have been spotted out now in the end. Now that they've got that Spirit Sentinel, this could be a huge fight if either team is willing to go for it, but...
Spotted out by Raz.
Yeah, Raz just going to keep on throwing out those fireballs. It's going to deter them in the end. They don't want to go for anything too risky.
Always be able to scout them out one way or another, but at least it's being sensible and using the abilities on your side to find out who is where. I mean, Loda equally, he has spears that when he throws in the ball doing Kelly Jean.
Kelly Jean is going to get caught out, but the rest of the team engages on the backside. Neil Fails surviving on barely any HP, and he will be able to walk away from that one. The CC is absolutely huge. There's another kill going down, and suddenly Cyanide, the last man on the map, and player 4 is not going to let him run away without a fight right here. Trying to land the stun spear, and he gets it at max range. That is absolutely huge, and that is going to be the kill going the way of Team Loda. Yellow Star, or Yellow Knight, what a confusing name, is going to go down in the end. And look at this, they've already got minions in the mid lane.
They've got that crossbow there as well. That will enable them to tank this up for a long, long time, and hopefully and potentially bring this tower down. Gives them that super minions in the mid lane. They could even start looking once again towards a different lane here. Bot lane still has that outer tower standing, and surely you start thinking, we can go for a split push here, and we can start threatening towards that Dark Slayer, because having that on side makes their team comp even scarier than it is right now.
Yeah, it really does. That could be the game breaker right here. And one of the worrying things, if you're Team Yellow Star right now, is one of those awesome comeback mechanics in this game is Grak's hook, right? Being able to pick someone off before a fight, but he's on the wrong side of the scoreboard if you're a Yellow Star fan right now, because he's going to be the one hooking for the side that's already in the lead. So you have to be a little bit nervous about that kind of situation. A lot of this game, I feel, is going to be down to whether or not we can see some resets on player 7.
Yeah, it seems that that's the war almost. Is does the butterfly get rolling, or does Neil Fails land a godlike hook that just shuts down any attempt Team Yellow Star might have had? And we spoke quite a lot about Grak today. We've said having that capability to just pull someone in and have the whole team lay a CC on top of them is incredibly impactful when you can land those grabs. And who better else to land it than Neil Fails? He's been doing brilliantly with it. And there's another one!
Speaking of, Yellow Star has been caught out. There's a Raz on his tail as well. Raz doing a lot of damage and CC. Yellow Star will get a nice little ult there, but his team not really there to engage at the time. Yellow Knight managing to find a knock-up onto one. They're trying to finish off Aki. Can they finish any of these kills right now? A lot of CC going down. Player 4, Solo, will drop in the end. Butterfly needs to get these resets, needs to capitalize, and will be able to do so. This is a huge fight. Kelly G gets the stun. There's another kill coming on through, and that is going to be an 8 coming through for Team Yellow Star.
This could be one of the inhibitor towers coming down for them. If they've got the minions to push in, Yellow Star needs to be very, very wary of that tower, but here they come. This could be the turnaround point for them. 15 to 18 in kills. The gold is so ridiculously close, the closest we've had all day, but there are 3 crossbows in the bottom lane. We've already seen what these can do today, and they will get down the second tower of the game in the base for Team Lodder.
Yeah, that is going to be 2 of those final towers going down for Team Yellow Star, which means more of these super minions pushing on through. And now, Team Lodder, they've only got 1 more lane to take towers in, unless they want to just push for a base. But the Dark Slayer still alive. That is going to be potentially the focus for these 2 teams now. It's going to give you a huge boost to your damage, but also to your health and mana regen in these fights.
And that's ideally what you need. Just having that additional 2 or 3 or 4% of HP can be all the difference once a fight kicks off. And of course, you're never going to say no to that 30% damage boost. It's absolutely huge for someone like Raz especially, who builds pretty much pure ability power damage. It really helps to just start smacking people about.
See who is going to be the ones smacking their opponents about, though. That's going to be the question. Butterfly now going to have that revive passive, going to be able to get up from the dead 1 time in this fight. But last fight, they couldn't even get onto the Butterfly, so we'll see whether that can even be a situation that comes to pass. Abyssal Dragon will be started and finished off very quickly from the side of Team Yellow Star. It's a nice little objective from them. It's going to give them not only gold, but also XP, and now we're getting close to max level for everyone. Every little bit of XP counts.
It does, and every little bit of gold starts sticking in here as well, because at that 5-6 item point is when you are at your most effective. And no one's quite hit it yet. There's some with like fully filled out slots, but nothing fully complete. But the Dark Slayer.
This is a bold call coming out from Team Yellow Star. It does a lot of damage to your team. Will it be capitalized on, though? We can see it has been spotted out in the end, but it's not very much HP remaining. They might just be able to get away with this one. They could just win the fight anyway if they can grab that, and they have done so. And now it's time to get into the fight. Cyanide with a triple knockup. That is huge. Aki being focused on down. Player 5 does not have the damage to survive, and yeah, Cyanide is just tearing through this backline, but he's not quite finished off this player. In the end, there's no kills going the way of Team Lodder, though, and it's going to be 3 kills going the way of Yellow Star and his team. That is an absolutely huge swing.
And with the Dark Slayer buff as well, look at how much health is being regen by them every now and then. Player 7 gets topped up again pretty quickly, and they can start pushing in here. They will have the minions behind them soon enough, and that could be their opportunity to make a push in. They don't have tons of time, though. Only 15 seconds left on these 3 respawns.
This is going to be a challenge for them. I don't think they can push too far right now. They can maybe go for some of these side towers. That's potentially the option available to them. That bottom tower looks awfully juicy right now. And there's a top tower. It's on about 1 HP, so maybe something that they can go and sneeze at, and it might fall over at this point.
It was kind of the same question earlier for Team Lodder as well, was that, yeah, you've got 2 of the inhibitor towers down already, but look at the bottom. They had 3 towers remaining, and not a single one had even been touched at that point. Yes, they've gone down now, and yes, if they can set up a good split push, or even like set up a slow push, I should say, with some of these crossbows in the back line, we've seen what they can do. Even 2 of them can drop a tower by themselves at this stage in the game, so just why not go for that? You've done it more than enough in your careers over the years. Let's get it rolling as well in Arena of Valor.
Spirit Sentinel is going to go the way of Team Lodder. And in the meantime, Team Yellow Star looking for the Abyssal Dragon. That Abyssal Dragon going to give some health regen to one of the members. Yellowstar hooked once again, but he's the perfect target for Team Yellowstar to get hooked in. He wants to be on that front line. He wants to be dishing out the damage. And look at this player 4 just about getting away with his life. But can he actually escape? Cyanide says no, shuts him down in the end. And now Aki getting blinked on. Butterfly trying to get these resets, trying to finish the kills. Can't quite do so, but it's a 2-kill pick coming through for Team Yellowstar.
And elsewhere on the map, it's just a bit of a strange face-off. Loader pushing onto Kelly Jean in this bot lane. So while there's a 4v4 going on, which, you know, Team Loader lost really here, they need to be grouping up and going for these fights as a unit. Trying to take them separately like this is never really going to work out.
Yellowstar going to be split pushing in that bottom lane. Just wants to finish this tower off. They've already done a good chunk of work to it earlier on in the game, and with this many minions, we'll be able to finish it. In the meantime, that top lane tower goes down as well, so Yellowstar and his gang starting to sweep up some of this standing gold on the map. Almost a 7,000 gold lead for them at this point, but we're getting to the point of the game where everyone's going to end up on 6 items. And at that point, when everybody finishes their 6th item, gold no longer matters whatsoever. And we're definitely hurtling towards that point.
Yeah, I mean, we saw the game earlier on between Yellowstar and Cyanide, and we said, well, Yellowstar has just rolled this game over and over again, like the fights are all theirs. All it took was one pick-off from Cyanide on Violet to completely flip the game on its head and bring them the victory. And the same can happen in this game. It looks all Yellowstar's way at the minute. 7,000 gold in the lead. Everything seems to be fine and dandy, but literally it takes one wrong fight, one person to not be there when the engage happens, and it can all fall down very, very quickly.
Certainly can. Look at this stat coming out from Team Loader. Yellowstar,
speaking of being
not
in position,
in the best spot right now. He will be found, but even though he's tanky, it's just not enough. His team is nowhere near him. That was the wrong position to be in, and Team Loader more than happy to capitalize on this one. This could be the end of the game. 45 seconds until respawn.
And everyone's split. You had Alice in the bot lane. You had Cyanide off at the top, running away on the Malik there, trying to push in too. It's just such a rough setup, and already another grab lands through. This is the worst case scenario for Team Yellowstar.
That is really bad news for them, and are going to get that regen passive, but, you know, when you're reviving in the middle of a team, it's not going to be enough. A hook goes on through, doesn't quite land, but there's a 5-man knockup coming out from Cyanide. Can they finish the kills? This is 3 versus 5. They need to get back underneath that tower. There's another hook landing. Cyanide is going to go down.
2 left alive there, 5 seconds on Yellowstar, but he's a tank. He's not really the guy you need right now. You need the damage to bring them down. This could be the end of it for Team Loader in their first victory of the day.
This could be the final fight of the game. Kelly Jean gets hooked on in. If she goes down, that is going to be it, but she survives somehow, and Yellowstar gets onto the backline. Can they save this game? Alice is with him, keeping him alive and dishing the damage. Team Yellowstar hang on by the skin of their teeth.
With only 2 kills in their favor as well. 5,000 gold lead still going their way, but that must have been a bit of a jump in the heart for them. With all 3 towers now down, all 3 lanes pushing in with super minions, they are going to be so restrained in what they can do here. Trying to fight for this Abyssal Dragon and trying to fight for the Dark Slayer is going to be so ridiculously risky. They've got to play this super, super smart right now.
They really do, but they have held on, and that is the most important thing right now. Those super minions, they are going to be a nuisance. They're going to be a pest that has to be dealt with, but certainly not an impossible situation. They've proven that by winning out that fight. They were outnumbered in that situation, and they still managed to hold on. This is a team that is not giving up. And we've seen that Team Loader, they started the game off strong. They had the lead to begin with. And it kind of slipped away from them, but now they firmly grasped it once more. Yellowstar getting caught out a couple of times in a row. If he can stick with his team, maybe there's a chance for the comeback.
It feels like they've almost half figured out their composition as well, because we had that brilliant 5-man ult coming out of Yellowknight in the bot lane. All it takes is for Yellowstar.
Oh, no. Player 6 is caught. Alice is down. This is the opening that Team Loader need to finish things off. They have supers pushing in all 3 lanes. All they have to do is end the game. Oh my goodness.
He got saw there.
Oh no, he got spotted in the end. That is devastating. Cyanide known for stealing these big objectives, but in the meantime, his favorite teammate has been caught. Butterfly is down. And now they have to just back away. They don't even need to go for the Dark Slayer. They can just end the game right now. Yellow Knight's been caught as well. That's another casualty. 2 members remaining. It's Yellowstar and Kelly Jean against the world. 15 seconds until player 6 respawns. They're living on a prayer right now.
They are. Yellow Star saved them last time round, but when it's 5 versus 2, it's a bit of a different story. They might just go for the base here.
Butterfly's going to respawn. Maybe there's something magical, but the base is already going down. Can they finish it off? The answer is yes. It's a win for Team Loader.
And you see him with his celebration there. High fives all around after a day of losing to Cyanide and Yellow Star. It's got to feel pretty good that once you come back together, you unify as 3. It's all about that perfect trifecta, and teamwork prevails overall.
Yeah, managing to take it in the end. I have to say, Grak has been one of the most influential characters across the course of today. We have seen some god hooks landing, and especially in that game as well. neofail's doing an excellent job there. And we saw kind of the culmination of what can happen if you stay strong and work as a unit. Look at that. Smiles all around, hugs from the team, and incredibly happy with their win on that one. And over on the other side, still smiles on everyone's faces on the side of Cyanide, Kelly G, and Yellow Star. Cyanide, he gets a consolation prize. He gets to have a go with the butterfly sword. That is a massive blade.
It is pretty damn big. I wonder if it's heavy as well.
I have no idea, to be quite honest. I'm going to definitely go and find out later on, though. But it is going to be going the way of Team Loader. Excellent play coming out from them. They managed to take it in the end. It looked dicey once again. That's back-to-back. We've had exceptionally close, kind of drawn-out games. Like, that was a 25-minute game, which is one of the longest ones we've seen. But so down to the wire the entire time. Loved every minute.
But that's exactly what you want to see as well. There's no one likes a complete and utter stomp. But when it's that close, when the legends are coming together and literally clashing with each other, it's wonderful. The moment when Yellow Star came back and saved their base the first time round, unfortunately couldn't the last time. But the small moments like that, you're just going to go, yes, they're showing what they're all about. They're showing why they're regarded as legends in their respective MOBA scenes. And, well, it was a great game to kind of close out the rookie matches that we've seen so far today.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we do have our players standing by on stage once again. So let's pass it over to OJ for a quick interview.
Now, I'm going to come to you in a second, but what were the first words you uttered as you walked to the centre of the stage? The first words.
That was easy.
Give it me again.
That was easy.
Oh, yes. It was indeed. Man, what happened there? There was 2 of you, there was 3 of them, plus your rookies. What happened?
Come on. I let my man speak here. What happened this game?
I was unfortunately hacked on the bot lane, so I lost my Guardian Angel, and we had to make up for it somehow, pressuring the objectives. But when we tried it, they catched us off guard, and we lost before the Baron.
It was hardcore. What a match, though.
Yeah, it was actually not that easy for them. They were dominating the early game, but I had a hard-fought team, so...
It was great. And from your point of view, I mean, it was a loss for you, but hey, what a great matchup.
Yeah, it was a fun match. I mean, we had a little gimmicks in the champion select. We didn't quite get all the heroes we wanted to take, but it was still a good game. I got to play the Valor champ, and it's a special event champ, so I know everyone in Twitch chat was really jelly that I have it and they don't, so I achieved it, you know.
Good work, man. Now, who has chosen the MVP from your team? You've chosen, yeah?
Yeah, he did a good job. He was really good, and he knew the game really well.
Good man. What's your name?
Tan.
Tan, congratulations. What was it like playing with these 2 legends?
It was really fun. It was a really intense match. I was really nervous, and I loved this game. It was really, really fun.
Excellent. Right, you can hand over the phone this time. Hand over the phone to Tan. Congratulations, my friend. You weren't on the winning team, but you have got yourself an iPhone 7. Which brings us to the winning team. And you said that was easy. They did try and stay with you, though.
Nah, I mean, we were three legends and they were 2 legends. It's easy math. I realized that I should just pick stuff that reminds me of something I know, and somehow it worked out.
It all plays into your hands. Talk me through the man you have chosen to be your MVP and why.
You know, I've kind of gone with the same kind of logic every time I choose an MVP. He came into the team, he really, really wanted to play ADC because that's the only thing he can play. But he let me do it, so that's why he deserves the iPhone.
Fabulous. Tell me your name.
Eric.
Eric, sir, an iPhone 7 Plus for you for being fantastic. Now, Eric, come stand in the middle of the stage. I want you to show your T-shirt right now, okay? Because this T-shirt, straight out of Spandau, this T-shirt sums up what we're going to do next. And if I look around, you know, we've not just full down here on the floor, not just in the lazy area, but we're sort of 8, 9 deep at the back. If you're just turning up here to the Arena of Valor stage, if you've not got the app, download it now. There's Wi-Fi knocking about. Download it, because coming up, we have our legends taking on Spandau Inferno, and that is next.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm so happy I get to play the button.
Yes.
Woo! Okay, where's the recall button on this phone?
Oh, the left one, the really left one.
It's recall. It's really recall. Good job, good job.
All planned.
All planned.
Oh, what the hell?
Okay.
What went wrong?
I can.
Oh! Yeah, buddy! What is that spear range? What? Ow!
Unfortunate.
Yeah, we didn't get to choose our champion.
Yeah.
Oh no! Not me again!
Kill the beast! Fuck, kill the
Yeah!
Finally! Yeah.
Welcome to the arena. First blood. Double kill. Win. Download and play now. Arena of Valor.
Athanor. Our home. Our ruin. We could not see, no, refused to see the beauty that lay before us, blinded by our rage and greed. So we fight. It's all we know. To preserve what little we have. To save us from ourselves. We cannot afford to fail.
Welcome back to Arena Valor here at Gamescom. We have a great crowd around us now. As I was saying before, if you've just turned up, if you're at the back, make sure you download this game. Brand new MOBA game for you to play. You can find it on your app store of choice. And we have been here now for a few hours. We've had legends playing off, then we've split them up according to the game they've come from. We've had that match, and it brings us now to what has been a very salty moment. There's been back and forth, and the one thing I love about social media is when there's a flame war, when people are slagging each other off and they're dropping bombs, they're calling each other out. For me, it's what social media was made for. Now, you've been part of this, Spandau Inferno. They've been calling you out, haven't they?
I don't know. I don't know how to take what they're saying.
What do you feel about them? Because they're calling into question your ability as an esports pro. These are some of the tweets, what you're seeing right now, these are some of the tweets that have come out. Hey, Kevin, we all know what happened last time we played against each other. I mean, this is great stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be fine. Their banter is really weak, really weak. We'll just show them how to really play by beating them.
And that's what's going to happen. I mean, how much are you just going to crush them?
We're just gonna play our own game. I mean, we actually have been playing the game, but their way to prepare is like tweeting and making videos, where we actually have been playing the game. So it's gonna be easy for us.
Mate, it's going to be a massacre. But the thing is, though, it takes two sides to take on a battle. So, of course, we have our legends who've been with us all day. They are tested, they've been playing the game, they've been working themselves up for a bit. But they've got to take on a team. They've been loud on social media. They've bigged themselves up. They've created hype around them. So please welcome to the stage, Spandau Inferno!
Nobody goes down. That's the important thing because they're defending right now. If they can stay alive, they're closer. If they recall and heal, they can get back to this fight immediately. The side of Cyanide that are pushing, they can't do the same.
Try as they might, they can't seem to really put any siege under these towers, which is surprising with Crixie on side. You'd imagine in that case, it's a matter of just sitting there and waiting for the poke. However, you're up against Neil Fails on this rack. If you get too close to this Crixie, you'll be under that tower, you'll be CC'd, and because you're so squishy, you'll be going down in no time at all.
Yeah, and the thing is, Team Cyanide, they went for the siege, it didn't quite work out immediately, so they go and grab themselves an objective instead. Look at this damage, this is just 3 of them, and they're still doing a great job, but Player 7 gets CC'd up, and they're going to trade the damage back on through, but Crixie's on the back line, doing a huge amount of damage, trying to finish these kills off. Neil Fails can't quite finish the kills himself, gets 1, but is it going to turn into anything more? The answer is no, as he's defeated. That kill goes over the way of Player 16. And it's a 2-for-1 in favour of Team Cyanide. Speaking of Cyanide, gets himself a kill and a tower, and now he's looking for more.
He's got to try and focus on the tower here. Don't want to underestimate this Alice and her potential to either melt you down or at least stop you from taking that tower. Much better to back away and look towards it as we saw last time around.
Look for that red buff there, the might buff. Be able to give that extra damage to the slow that you get from that one as well. And now we see Team Cyanide, they want to finish off the last of these tier 1 towers. They want to take this objective and make sure that they've opened up the map for themselves. And Player 7, he's found a random opponent running around the map, but won't be able to finish off the kill.
It's good there, very, very good with his CC, but much better
Oh, the
around the
hook.
team.
Player 16 managing to flicker on out of that one, just about escapes with his life, but Cyanide stunned. This could be the opportunity, but here comes Fresh. Look at the AoE damage. That's going to be 1 kill coming on through. Neil Fails has got nowhere to go. There's a second one. Crixie won't even go down for her trouble. There's another one. Dominating is going to be that Crixie. And there we go. 4 kills for nothing. Team Cyanide are starting to run away with this one.
Deja vu, but this time in the top lane it's a Valor on her own. We said before, there's no way she can stay under this tower. She will get melted down and die. And that's an ace coming through for Team Cyanide. 18-5 on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and this is what we spoke about earlier. When you get tanky like this, when you get to the later stages of the game, those towers, they're not going to be able to save you much against these tanks that can just walk underneath and dish out huge damage. And now that is going to be this final base tower going down if they can grab this. I don't know, the players are here. Neil Fails might be able to get a nice hook here and could find a kill. Doesn't quite get it in range.
Too speedy, Player 7 here charging away. And what a game he's had so far. You look at the Crixie, who's on 6-0 and 8, but 5-1 and 9 on Player 7. It always seems, once he enters a fight, it's a magic turnaround. The engage!
This is the opportunity. They managed to get a hook, pulling someone away from the rest of the team. They're going to jump onto this one. Can they finish the kill, though?
Lautesten Ahu schreit, oder? Okay, soll ich einfach mal rumgehen? Willst du dir mal das andere Mikro kurz nehmen?
Mate, you know I don't... Listen, Baxter, I don't speak Spanish.
Okay, gut. Ich gehe einfach mal kurz rum und pick mir welche raus, die dann volle Lotte Ahu schreien, okay? Wer ist denn dafür ready? Ja komm, wir gehen erstmal zu dir. Okay, ich zähle runter, ja? Hi. Ich zähle runter, ja? Bist du ready? Wie heißt du?
Tobi.
Tobi, bist du ready?
Ja, bin ich.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Ahu!
Ja, weiß ich nicht. Ich fand's ganz in Ordnung. Vielleicht geh noch mal nach da hinten. Cyanide mal kurz aus dem Weg. Achtung, Adrian. Wer hat hier Bock? Wer will ein iPhone? Bist du hyped? Willst du ein iPhone? Okay, willst du die Challenge annehmen? Hallo, wie heißt du?
Ich bin der Michael.
Michael, hallo. Ich zähle runter. 3, 2, 1.
Au!
Ja, das war schon mehr, oder? Dann würde ich sagen, kriegst du ein iPhone. Bitteschön.
Right, well done. Right, listen. We've run out of time. We've got to get this match on. You've done your walking about. You've given out your iPhones. Give me that back. So then, it is time to get this match on. We're going to see these guys. Spandau Inferno. They've got lovely shirts. He's got another one. Give it out. Where did you just pull that out of? I'd give that a wipe first. They've got their nice shirts on, lovely hair, great legs. They're going to take on our legends. So, please go to your booth, guys. Round of applause for Spandau Inferno. Straight out of Spandau. Legends, come on. Take your positions. Wow. And for me, guys, please, destroy them. We're about to find out what happens. Thank you so much for being here at the Arena of Valor stage. Whatever happens over the next 15, 20, 25 minutes, I can guarantee you it is going to be amazing. It's a best of 3, so we have got, an hour's worth of fabulous MOBA excitement. And for this, let's hand it over to our casters, the 2 best-looking, most erudite and handsome guys I know. Boys, it's over to you.
Thank you very much, OJ. What an interview coming out. I mean, I couldn't understand the rest of what they were saying. A lot of it was in German, I'm not going to lie.
It was basically 2 iPhones, do you want iPhones? Yes!
Yeah,
Who can awoo the loudest? You get the iPhone.
The fans are absolutely loving it out there, though, I've got to say. We could hear we ran to the toilet in between the games. You could hear the roar through the wall. It was insane when they came onto the stage. And cannot wait to see how they're going to match up once we get into the Arena of Valor. You can see them getting ready, get a couple of selfies in, getting that social media on the go before they jump onto the map and get these games underway.
About to make legends of themselves potentially here as well, facing off against our other legends who have been playing all day, so they've had their training, they've been warmed up, they're ready to go. And then you've got Spandau Inferno who walk out on stage and go, sorry, who are these guys? Like, this guy did like one thing once upon a time, I don't care. That was the best one. But either way, I think it's going to be a brilliant match because one thing you can expect from these guys is showmanship, and they've been playing it a little bit as well. They've got the practice in. They're ready for this. The question is, are our legends ready to face off against them?
That is going to be the question. And I mean, our legends have just had an entire day of intense games training for this moment, and they've obviously figured out what they think the powerful picks are, what they think the best compositions are going to be. So we'll see how they decide to go about this one. But Spandau, I'm sure they're coming in strong. I'm sure they're coming in like with an idea of what they want. You can see them sorting out their Arcana right now and making sure that they've got everything the way that they want.
The guy knows exactly what he wants. He's a pro at this. He's done it so many times. He's demolished many opponents, and the legends are just one more step on the path to greatness for him. I'm really curious to see how they choose to build the compositions out there. Did they try and stick with something more standard? Do we see the kind of crazy stuff we've seen today where you get like 3 marksmen on one team and 2 mages or whatever else it might be? Or do we just kind of see from the legend side, do we see, Cyanide said, I got to play Malik, Twitch chat's going to be salty at me because they can't play it right now. He seems to have quite a lot of fun with it, so does he stick by that one again? Or does Spandau Inferno just slide the BM in there nice and early and ban it away from him?
And it has to be said, Cyanide did an incredible job on Malik as well. He got a 5-man knock-up in one of the fights, and that was the fight that flipped everything on its head briefly. It kept him in the game for just a little while longer. We'll see whether something similar comes on through. And they were saying that they didn't quite get the composition that they were actually looking for in that last game, so maybe they'll be able to be a little bit faster on their fingers to lock in what they're looking for. But don't forget, guys, that the Go For Arena of Valor has been announced. It is going to be beginning on September the 10th. And take a look at your screens right now. Every single month, there is going to be 5,000 euros in prize money available. That is a crazy amount of money available for a community tournament run by ESL. That is going to be incredible. Make sure to get involved. You can find out more if you head over to play.eslgaming.com/Arena of Valor. That's how you can get involved at home. And that's also going to be a feed-in tournament to other bigger tournaments. That's the way to get your face known within the pro scene and get your name out there. But that's how That's how teams like Spandau Inferno always start. Well,
they do.
These guys actually started off by YouTube.
The thing is, I think everyone sits there at some point when you're playing another game and you must think, oh, we're 4, 5, 6 seasons in now. Like, imagine if I'd started at the beginning, how good I could be.
Yeah.
I could be the next pro in the world. This is your one and only opportunity to get involved in that. If you want to get involved in a game as it begins and maybe find yourself sitting on stages like this for a living, then this is the time to get involved. There is no greater opportunity you'll get than now. So by all means, please do sign up and give it a good go.
Yeah, if you want to be one of the original pros, if you want to be one of the original world champions, kind of like a couple other people sat on the stage right now, then this is how you can get involved.
If you want to sit there and go, oh, I remember the good old days before Arthur got nerfed, and this is your time to get in. That's the kind of stuff I imagine you saying sometime next year, actually, Munchables.
Yeah, or Murad, perhaps.
Or Murad, perhaps, yeah. I remember Murad wasn't reworked. I remember when his ult did this. That's the kind of discussion we hope to go on in a year's time.
We're just hinting right now, but... But yeah, don't forget as well, once we get in game, there is a code that's going to be on the top right of the screen. That is how you can get yourself some free swag in game. Just type that in the client. It'll be on the top right of the in-game overlay. So make sure to be watching out for that one. But we also have a raffle on the go here at the Arena of Valor stage here at Gamescom. All you have to do is head over to esl.gg/AOV raffle. And that's how you can get involved, because we'll be giving away some iPhone 7 Pluses online as well as some Google Pixels. So even if you're an Android man, you can get involved as well. But it's time to get this series underway. Natalia going to be banned away from this one. The Spandauer Inferno not wanting to deal with that, and I can understand why.
Me too. Yellow Star's played it a couple of times today to great effect, and we've seen how much damage that beam can do, so just get it out of the way. Let's not deal with it. Let's try and give ourselves the best chance to slip. Now, that's interesting to me that that's being banned away, because that is one of the favourites that came through early on for Loda. He was dying to play, and we saw in the kind of team chat that we saw coming out last time, was he was saying, oh, finally I get to play the Rabbit, and he definitely did. He got some great spears, and even Cyanide was like, what the hell are all these spears?
Exactly. I think that's why they've banned it, because Cyanide is the one that was banning. He's at the top of the draft, and he's like, you know what? I don't want to deal with this. They've got Violet and Butterfly, though, 2 carries that we've seen do some serious work. Obviously, Violet, an AD carry, and then Butterfly is that assassin that gets those resets in the fight. But we'll see how this one's going to pan out. Thane and Arthur, you kind of got... I feel like that's the 3 default heroes of Arena of Valor. These are like the tutorial heroes, so maybe sticking to what they know here.
Quite possibly, and speaking of sticking what you know, Cyanide, again, he said previously, I play Violet a lot, I played her in the past, gonna stick on it again, and we saw what happened last time he played off against Yellow Star with this hero. Got to the late game, 2 crits, did over 2,500 damage, and that was pretty much the end of the fight. He got dropped, Yellow Star did, and that was the end of the game. This time, though, I hope we're glad to be on the same side, as they do lock themselves in Crixie, and also go away that Pura again, who we've seen used to great effect so far today.
Blood is going to be able to get himself a Batman, and we're going to see Alistair as well for just Johnny. And then the final pick of this entire game is going to be over in the hands of Loda. We'll see where he wants to go with this one. I'd love to see some kind of warrior, and it looks like Arthur is going to be the pick coming on in here. So fairly squishy composition coming out from the side of Team Legendary, but they do have that support from Yellow Star to keep Arthur alive, and that hopefully for them will be enough. But on the other side of things, another fairly squishy composition. We have 1 assassin, 2 marksmen, a mage, and a tank coming out from Spandauer. And we'll see whether that's going to be enough to cause an inferno against Team Legendary.
Indeed, and then sticking to true fashion for what we've done today, there is indeed a new hero in play this time around. Alistair, as you mentioned, his name coming through. You can think of him as the Electro Wizard, as it might be. Lots of stuns, lots of electric fields, anything to basically rain on your parade or thunder on your parade in this context. That's exactly what he is good for. So think a lot of crowd control, think a lot of damage, and expect him to be bringing the pain.
I think when you think of Alistair, like the words control mage pretty much epitomize him perfectly. Like the biggest thing he offers, he does offer damage, but the biggest thing he offers is that crowd control. He has a lot of stuns in his kit because of his electric abilities, and they'll stun multiple times as well. So if you get locked down by him and he's got a teammate nearby, it's very easy for them to finish you off. So definitely one where positioning is going to be key.
And his ultimate is pretty terrifying as well. It's called Magic Prison, and essentially what it does is stun someone for 2.5 seconds, rooted to the spot, unable to do anything, and because it applies his passive, which is a 3-stack explosion, it's so difficult to be able to walk out of that one alive, especially when your team is piled in around you. So it would have worked really nicely, I think, with something like Grab, but in this case, they're thinking, you know what, we can get, with what we've got here, we've got enough CC, this is going to work out just fine. So let's see how they set up against the Legends.
Let's see how it does work out. We've got an assassin on either side going into the jungle. Batman for our blue side, and we've got Butterfly for our red side. Team Legendary up against Spandau Inferno. This is going to be one heck of a game, ladies and gentlemen. Aki going to be jumping into that jungle role on the Butterfly. We'll see how well he's going to be able to do on this one.
And a quick shout out once again, guys, don't forget about that code in the top right corner of the screen. It does change every half an hour, so keep on checking that code, or at least keep a close eye on it. You can get yourself some free swag in the game. So if you haven't tried entering it, give this one a go, and if no more are available, then give it another 10-15 minutes, and you may well find yourself in with the opportunity to unlock some cool stuff in the game itself.
Yeah, a lot up for grabs right now. Neil fails.
With just face down.
I feel like he's maybe not in control of his character right now.
Or this is just intense Spandau BM, one of the two.
This could be intense BM. That is a possibility, but it seems...
at least it's a minion kill, so at least good guy Crixie coming through.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, good
Neil fails being
good manners by Neil fails, yeah, to not go for that free kill. But that is an unfortunate situation from Spandau Inferno. Little bit unlucky coming out from them. And in the meantime, Cyanide and Yellow Star just pushing away at that top lane. This is a duo that they've played a lot together.
I think it's any duo that anyone would fear coming up against, and they are having a bit of a whale of a time on this top tower. It's already down to a third of its HP within 2 minutes. If they can get that down, they can afford to make rotations elsewhere. They can go for deeper dives onto this Valheim. They have all these options available to them.
Well, hand of hand, as he's decided to call himself in this game.
Hand of Batman, he should call himself.
Hand of Batman. He's going to be playing on that Dark Knight himself. We'll see how he's going to be able to do. Obviously, both Batman and Butterfly are assassins, so they love to snowball. They love to go for these ganks and look for early kills. So we'll see whether either of these guys is going to be going for that one. Kutcher up in this top lane, taking a good chunk of damage. He's in a 2 versus 1 lane right now, so this tower might end up going down soon because that mid lane tower has gone down as well.
Yeah, to have 2 towers this early on is pretty scary, but here they come in the bot lane.
Yeah, we mentioned ganks from this Batman. That's exactly what's going to be happening right now. Loda is going to be the first one to fall here, but in the meantime, look at the damage coming out from Neil Fails. Aki goes on in. It's a 2 versus 3, though. They don't have the damage to finish it off, and it's another kill for Spandau Inferno.
And despite the situation they find themselves in with 2 towers down, they still managed to turn it into 2 kills in the bot lane. But Cyanide and Yellow Star, the damage they're getting in here into this bottom tower. It's a very scary advantage to have at 3 minutes. Already be knocking on the doors of the second inner tower.
Yeah, they're just destroying this tower as well. It's not like Violet goes easy on these structures. Abyssal Dragon will be taken here, but you know, when your tier 2s are already going down, that's not a great trade. And it has to be said, you know, there is a member of the side of Spandau who's not really been able to move all too much this game. So it's a pretty unfortunate situation for them.
I'm sure they'll get it resolved soon enough either way. And at least with the Drake going over to the side or getting a hold of that Abyssal Dragon, it gives them that XP, it gives them the gold in the first place, so at least the rest of the team manages to keep themselves in a relatively decent position where they have the item advantage in some of these games.
Yeah, nice kill. Another kill from Spandau there as well. And it looks like we have movement from our player that was struggling before, so going to be able to get back on into this game. Kutcher has been found, though. Look at the damage coming out from Neil. It's not quite enough to finish a kill, though. And actually, 3 members collapsing in on them. They could be in trouble right now. Kevin is on the sidelines. He's going to look for this engage. He's going around for the flank. The rest of the team coming in from Legendary as well, though. Loda is a target that they're quite happy to have focused down. He's definitely the tankiest of the squad. And here comes Yellow Star and Cyanide. They're turning this one on its head. There's 1, there's 2, and Kevin all on his lonely lonesome. He gets away with his life, but it's a double kill coming through for the side of Loda.
And looking up towards the top lane, mind you, Batman, hand of hand, just waltzing around invisible there. Butterfly, none the wise that he was there. And top side though, Solar all on his own here with this split push, will be able to at least get a return tower.
Yeah, but nowhere near as quickly. And look at this, they might even be able to push for more down there as well. Solar going to back away from this one, but we've got a fight down at the bottom side of the map, I believe. So everybody grouped up and hand to hand has been caught out. He'll go down. Kutcher is going to be the next one to fall. This is what happens when you group as a 5 in this game. You can have so much power behind you. If you can catch people out individually, you'll be able to just destroy them.
Depends how much you're prepared to lose in the first place, but clearly that answer for Spandau right now is everything. Team Legendary have taken 5 towers already in this game. Only 1 outer tower still stands, and we've only just passed the 5-minute mark.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. This is a seriously try-hard Team Legendary right now. They are not messing around. Grouped as 5, rotating as a death squad, just looking for towers. It's not like they're just playing deathmatch right here. They are playing for these objectives and stealing everything they can away from their opponents. A couple of the Spandau guys here, unfortunately struggling a bit by the looks of things, as this is going to be another tier 2 tower going down.
There isn't. The Yorn is still pushing off in the top side, though. Needs to be worried that it doesn't get collapsed on from the middle of nowhere. Here they go pushing in now into the base turrets.
Yeah, this is starting to look pretty brutal. Team Legendary pretty much running away with this one. Spandau are losing their first inner tower right there. And we could well see more falling as well.
Oh,
as
the
Team
Yorn.
Legendary.
He's all on his own. Might find himself getting collapsed on here if he's not wary.
Yeah, that is exactly going to be what's happening. Solar found out and defeated. That's another kill going the way of Neil Fails. This is not pretty. This is not a pretty game at all right now.
Pretty brutal. But then you'd expect no mercy from players who have played for many years for, large sums of money as well, where, even the smallest mistake can cost you a lot. You capitalize on every opportunity that you can. And that's exactly what they're doing right now. Even looking towards a Dark Slayer at 6 minutes 30. This is the earliest that we've seen all day.
Yeah, this is an incredibly fast Dark Slayer as well. They're able to just melt this one down because there's so
damage on them though.
Gold right now. I believe we are having a couple of internet issues on the stage, which is why we've seen Spandau players not necessarily moving as much as we would like them to be.
I'd like to say it's the mad rush of everyone trying to download the game, but then all of Team Legendary are running around like, hey guys, we're cool, we're fine, we'll win this one out just fine.
Yeah, bit of an unfortunate situation right here, but Team Legendary, they don't seem to mind right now. They seem quite happy with how the situation's going, so it's going to be Loda up in this top lane, just going to be pushing on through. Now they have the Dark Slayer buff, they should be able to finish things off pretty damn quick.
Should indeed. Only 2 towers left standing, and then the base is all that stops them from a victory. But Johnny down here in the bot lane at least has got a good push going on. Might find himself a tower. However, the base is the thing that's the threat for them right now.
Yeah, there's a super minion right here, and I think they might just look to end this game. They're not that fussed about inner towers. They just want to end this one and take that base away from their opponent. In the meantime, this top lane tower is going to get taken down. Or at least is on its way to getting taken down. Kevin goes in, but there's not a whole lot he can do in a 1 versus 5 situation like that. The tower's gone down, and now the minions pushing on towards this base as well. Just waiting for these supers from the mid lane. And that should be all she wrote here in this first game. This is looking to be the quickest game of the day. We're only 8 minutes in. And there's another couple of kills going, as well as a base. And it's going to be Legendary taking the first one, but I believe that was a let's end this quickly so we can resolve internet issues kind of scenario.
Yeah, Spandau clearly also probably going to walk into the next one saying, well, you guys didn't really win the first one, so now we're really going to show you what we're made of and give it to you hard. And, well, for Team Legendary, they still managed to capitalize well on the small early advantages that they got and close it out pretty quick.
We'll see how they're going to be able to come back in this series. We'll get an admin ruling on whether that game counts in the series. I would assume not, to be honest, but we'll have to wait and see for that one. Certainly, it gives us a little insight, though, that game, on the team compositions that these guys are running and how we're going to be playing this one. Because actually, even right at the start, when just one player DC'd from Spandau Inferno, we actually saw them, they got the next 2 kills 4v5. They were rotating really well. They were working as a team and getting advantages, and then we saw things start to fall apart, obviously, with the internet issues and things. So I'm curious to see how the next game goes once everyone's on a level playing field.
And I'm very, very curious, like you mentioned a couple of seconds ago, about the composition they choose to go for, because in that last game it was a very starter hero composition, should we say. Everything that you unlock in your first few days of playing, you do get 2 free heroes a day if you complete 6 games total, 3 games per hero. It felt like a lot of them were the ones that you would unlock quite early on. So in the sense, it was we unlocked these first, we played them a lot, we're very, very comfortable with them, therefore we are going to play them. With the exception, of course, of Batman, who's a little bit of a different story, given he is a premium hero.
Yeah, he certainly is, but we saw him play to great effect as well, so We'll see how that's going to pan out. And obviously, one of the things about Batman is on his first ability, it's like a basic kind of sweep attack that hits enemies nearby. But the key thing about that ability is it hits one random enemy for double damage. So the way he works, because he's an assassin, you want to pick an isolated target anyway, but you guarantee double damage in that scenario. We're going to be going for a quick break while we just resolve the issues going on the stage, but we will be back ASAP so that we can get this game underway.
Welcome to the arena. First blood. Double kill. Win. Download and play now. Arena of Valor.
Athanor. Our home. Our ruin. We could not see, no, refused to see the beauty that lay before us, blinded by our rage and greed. So we fight. It's all we know. To preserve what little we have. To save us from ourselves. We cannot afford to fail.
Welcome back to the Arena of Valor stream here at Gamescom 2017. We've had some incredible games on the screen today. We had 2 back-to-back epics that went all the way to 25 minutes, which for Arena of Valor is quite a long drawn out.
I was going to say, if anyone had just joined out of context there, not knowing the game and heard you go, we had 2 epics go to 25 minutes, they'd be like, sorry?
In the wrong context, that could sound weird. But for an Arena of Valor game, an average game is probably about 15 minutes. So 2 in a row going to 25, scoreline tied all the way, was absolutely exceptional to watch. And now we have Spandauer Inferno on the stage. They're going up against our MOBA legends. These guys have been in their various MOBA scenes for years, and they are absolute legends. They have all got incredible highlight moments over the years, and they've all got incredible titles to themselves as well. And this is why these guys are amazing.
Amazing, and also why production said to us, yeah, we might be in a few minutes still. And I was like, well, why is that going to be? Like, we don't know. Just being told why. I could see nowhere now. Spandau Inferno are playing Let's Balance Apples on our head.
It's probably not the reason for the delay, but
it definitely is. Come on.
Keeping us entertained during the meantime as well. It's definitely going to be a hilarious game to get on into. I'm curious to see how this first one goes. Obviously, we had a couple of internet issues, and we are trying to get through them, trying to get that resolved for you guys. But what we saw of that first game was a very close run thing. We saw both teams going back and forth, but also, more importantly, we saw, even after Spandauer had 1 disconnect, they actually managed to get the next couple of kills. They were rotating beautifully as a 4-man squad and managing to take advantages for themselves.
That's why I'm really excited to see what happens when they do get into game with all members in the arena, all of them ready to play, all of them making these plays together, because it was almost like having flashes of brilliance where you see that these plays can happen where they are perfectly possible. It's just because of a few unfortunate issues that they don't then snowball into something greater, because by that time, even though they got 3 kills, there was still 3 towers over to the side of the Legends.
He is absolutely the king. I have no idea what that word on the hat means. I'm not German enough for this.
Salzkönig? I don't know.
But they're certainly kings of playing up to the crowd. That is for sure. And then on the other side, we have our MOBA legends. Now, these guys, they were full try-hard in that last game. Even with disconnects on the other side. I feel like they may have been told to do that, but they were full 5-man death squad. Even if there isn't disconnects and things, doing that as a strategy, it works. If you get a lead and you just 5-man death squad, it's very difficult to break into that.
It is, and I mean, maybe it's also a pride thing, right? You walk onto this stage where everyone is rooting for the other team, and they're being like, yeah, Spandau Inferno are going to crush you, and then Spandau themselves are like, yeah, going to wreck you, get ready, kids. They're just like, you know what? Yeah. I'm not taking this. I've had this for years.
You have to bear in mind the amount of smack talk that Spandau Inferno came in slinging around. They claim not even to know what Dota was. And
all over Twitter, they've been going nuts with it as well. So they've been laying on pretty heavy, especially for Yellow Star. He's been on the brunt end of it as well.
Poor Yellow Star.
Poor Yellow Star. Although I'm pretty sure with his calm, collected thoughts, he leads his team to victory, as he has done many, many times today. And in fact, almost did against Cyanide earlier on. But then, of course, as we saw, did lose out in the dying moments of that game.
Yeah, I have to say, like, even if, like, as Yellow Star, even if you're the brunt of the kind of smack talk and things, I don't think, over the years that I've watched Yellow Star as an esports professional, I don't think I've ever seen him tilted. So I don't think that he's the kind of guy that's going to be able to be, like, tilted or jaunted by that kind of...
you see him very emotional sometimes and very obviously caring about what he's invested himself into, but you never see him, like you say, at the stage where he's completely tilted and doing silly things. He is a very calm and collected person in general. And maybe that's what's probably good here, because you can imagine there's a couple of live wires going through this team. But hey, let's see what they're going for in this pick and ban phase, if they try and change things up, or if it's going to be more of the same.
All right, we are underway. We're going to be kicking this one off with a Natalia ban. We are going to have Spandauer Inferno on our blue side and Team Legendary on our red side. We're redoing game 1 here by the looks of things. So Spandauer are going to get that first ban, and Wukong going to be banned away by Team Legendary.
Very interesting ban, because Wukong is regarded as more of a late game hero, not one that you pick at all for the early game. So that taking it away goes, we don't want to deal with the potential late game comp that you guys might have set up for us. We just want to go for another very early game win.
Valheim being hovered here will be locked in by Aki. We know that Aki loves to play these carries, and it's going to be Tara as another pickup here. Actually going to swap that in the last second, going for Mina instead. I've just been told that this is in fact the second game. The first game is going to count towards the final scoreline here, so we'll see. A lot of weight on the shoulders of our Spandauer Inferno team here. Batman and Alistair going to be their lock-ins.
Going for them once again. Wanting to stick mostly to the same composition, although they did deny that Violet pick away from Cyanide. They've seen it a couple of times before. They know what those crits can do, and they just want to get it off the cards as quickly as possible by picking it up for themselves.
Alistair and Pura going to be the lock-ins once again. This is a very similar situation, or very similar composition, sorry, to what we saw in the first game coming out from Team Legendary. Obviously, they are 1-0 up in this series, so they're looking strong right now. But Butterfly, this was on the Legendary squad. Last game could be taken away, but Kevin actually maybe looking towards Alice, wanting to go for that support instead. Tara going to be picked up by Kutcher, so that's going to round out their composition. They have 1 tank, 3 DPS, and a support. And over on the side of Team Legendary, would love to see another tank, or maybe a damage dealer. Mage would work either, because they do have 1 carrion. It's going to be Crixie. Crixie, we know, can do crazy AoE damage.
Especially when comboed up with some of the CC that can come through from someone like Mina. And we've seen repeatedly today, Yellow Star is always going back over towards the same hero time and time again. Go towards that Pura because he just loves the heals that it brings through, loves the supporting aspect of it, really staying true to his roots.
Yes, Pura is like such an incredibly potent healer. That's the thing, and it's AoE heals. So like when you're against something like the Dark Slayer, you use that ultimate to heal your team up. Not only are you going to survive that situation, but also the ultimate has a fairly short cooldown as well, so it's not like it's going to be offline for the next team fight or anything like that. You can just use it for general team sustain as well as in clutch situations. So I can understand why he leans towards that as a pick and why he's a big fan of Pura in general. But over on the other side, we have Alice, and the other kind of popular support right now. It's kind of the 2 supports that we've seen across the course of today. Alice, less healing, but more damage.
Yeah, a lot less healing, which is why often in the high level of plays, especially in solo queue, you do see Alice getting swapped out for one of the tanks that would normally go through in a 3-tank composition. Anyway, game is underway.
The game is underway, and a very important thing to point out here, no Grak for either side. Grak has been a pivotal pick. Grak, obviously, for anyone who hasn't seen any of this game just yet, Grak has a hook, so he can pull a target in, he can pull them under tower, and we've seen a lot of people being punished by that across the course of today. Neither team grabbing that, so that won't be as influential as a factor as what we've seen today. That won't be kind of a pivotal point of either of these compositions.
And Tara is a very, very obnoxious tank at the best of times. Her ultimate restores so much HP over the space of about 5 seconds. I think it's 8% of her max HP every second for 5 seconds is regenerated, and she gets a 30% movement speed increase. So in general, you try and kill her and you think, right, the tank's nearly dead. Nope, tank has suddenly got 40% of her max HP back. She's running away, and she has all these CCs, slows, leaps, everything in her kit that makes her incredibly obnoxious. And in fact, on the official Arena of Valor Discord, we do find a lot of the players saying, well, I'm on a 10-win streak with her right now because she's literally unstoppable.
Yeah, it can be terrifying. Cyanide finding a 1v1 right here, but he's got some help coming in from his teammate as well. That is going to be a kill going the way of Cyanide. In the end, he's
so
just
low.
about gets away. That's going to be a flicker forward from just Johnny. Beautiful stuff. Picks up the kill. Counters that one out. But the first blood did go the way of Team Legendary.
Finds himself now with a double buff. Got that might buff, also got the ability power buff. So he's going to be very, very happy with all that increased cooldown reduction with the mana regen that he has. Can just spam those skills out even more in the mid lane.
Certainly will be able to, and we'll see whether he can really capitalize on that situation. Loda, once again, going solo in this bottom lane. We've seen this multiple times. Loda, definitely a big fan of Arthur, something we've seen him play a lot. She's going to just be trying to clear away this wave so that he can keep that tower as alive as possible for as long as possible.
Yeah, and in fact, it was in the top lane last time round that we saw this combo coming out of Team Legendary. We saw Yellow Star and Cyanide heading it up together up there, again with the Pura, but with the Violet on side too, and they just made taking that tower down the top lane ridiculously easy. It was down by 2.5 minutes. That's just how much pressure they had, and there was nothing for Loda to do, but hey, now it's been reversed round. It's Solo who's got his hands on this Violet, and that tower is going very low.
Now, I want to talk about this pick from Kutcher just a little bit here as well, because Kutcher, he's playing a tank that does a bit of a knock-up, does a bit of CC, but more importantly, has a huge amount of health regen. He is just able to self-sustain so much across the course of these fights. You can see that healing coming on through there. It's very difficult to finish off the Tara up in that top lane, but his tower is incredibly low and should be finished off itself. But look at this, the engage, the initiation. It's going to be a 2-for-1, but hand to hand gets on top of things.
Just gets a hand on things, you could say, but not quite managing to bring it out so that his laner stays alive. The Kutcher does fall for it, but they'll be pretty happy with giving Batman 2 kills above all else.
Just Johnny taking a bit of a harass in that mid lane. But across the board right now, Spandauer, they do have an ever so slight lead. It's about 700 gold, so nothing crazy, but certainly a good foothold to start the game with. But just Johnny might have just been caught out right now. Cyanide managing to get onto him, but a good amount of CC. Here comes hand to hand as well, trying to finish people off, but he's getting melted down by Neilfail's ultimate. Kevin's on the scene as well as Loda desperately tries to escape with his life. He will be able to do so, but only by the skin of his teeth. Cyanide, the only casualty of the fight.
Sparrow Inferno starting to take this game
Loda's
by the
going
horns.
in. Loda's incredibly low, but he's going for the fight anyway. He's trying to finish off Hand, but cannot do so. And that's another kill going the way of Spandauer. They're starting to build a lead right now.
2,000 gold in the lead, so to speak, if you want to put an exact number on it. And like I say, who else better to put kills onto at this stage in the game than the Batman? Because come the mid-game, if you've got those item advantages, if you've got the level advantage, you can dive in anywhere and pretty much eliminate someone from the map in the blink of an eye.
See whether they can bring that to pass, but so far, it's been a good game for Spandauer Inferno. They're wanting revenge right now for what happened in Game 1. They're wanting to push this to a 3-game series. And I'm not going to lie, Derry, I kind of want them to do it too. We'll see whether they can bring it to pass, though. We know that the team Legendary, they've been practicing all day long. They've certainly got the coordination. These guys, most of them have been teammates, whether or not to get, not as a full 5, but certainly as pairings. So we'll see whether that synergy is going to be enough for them to take these situations. Obviously, we saw Cyanide and Yellowstar up in that top lane. We've already seen them duking it out before, but they lost their 2v2 before. Yellowstar's been caught out. Will be able to heal himself a little bit. We need to see Aki doing a lot of damage right now. He needs to turn this fight on its head. Doesn't quite have what it takes to finish these kills, but he will be able to push them back. He's turning this into more. Has that red buff ticking on down. Has the slow available.
He's so low.
And he will be able to finish off Kevin in the end. Here comes the rest of the team. Solar will fall down, and it's 2 kills for Team Legendary.
And Balheim always looks so super impressive when he's just walking forward, kiting away like that, laying down the damage. Incredibly mobile, incredibly CC heavy, has a stun that he can use at any time and can get it randomly also from his first ability. So just having that capability as a marksman just kind of tells you what you can expect from this game when it comes around to marksmen. They are not the kind to roll over and die. They are the kind that can fight for themselves. They have more than enough CC, and you can see exactly what effect that can have as Ake just steamrolls his way through 2 members of the enemy team.
Oh, they're tanking the tower, though. That is going to be a kill going the way of Solar here on the Violet. He could look to chase for more, but I don't think he's willing to go for this one. Kutcher, though, if he can find this engage, this could be a kill on Cyanide. Aki desperately trying to recall in the bush, and I think he's got away with that one as well. Nobody notices. Cyanide gets underneath the tower. That was a situation that could have gone a lot worse for Legendary.
It could if he'd been caught out recalling in that bush, but either way, the heals that were coming through on the tower, he probably could have gone for a tower dub. Look, mid lane, Johnny's on his own.
Yeah, he's managed to get the tower, though, so even if he goes down here, it's probably worth and actually flickers away and gets the prison off. Hand to Hand is here. This is going to set them up for a kill. This is beautiful from Johnny. Hand of Hand now onto Yellowstar, looking for his second one, and it will go their way. That's a bloodbath coming on through, and now he looks for Aki. Bit off more than he can chew, but they're happy with the double, and now Kutcher needs to back away.
This is the power that you can have from the Alistar. We said it before, with that magic prison that you have available to you on your ultimate. That's 2.5 seconds of lockdown, more than enough time for your team to close in and start collapsing things down. Yeah, the map is a lot smaller than you might find on other MOBAs, so it's very, very easy to get to a fight when it kicks off. And of course, since you can buy anywhere on the map, you can be involved in a fight in a flash. There's no need to go back.
And also, importantly, because of that fact, it's so important to have that map awareness, to be aware of where your enemies are. When your enemies go missing for a couple of seconds, that's important because you could be about to be ganked and you have to be able to get out of that situation. So it's super important that you're keeping an eye on your minimap at all times. But we're going to see Violet, Solar pushing up fairly heavily in this mid lane. Could be a little bit dangerous for him, but I don't think anyone's capitalizing just yet.
And the Legends, look how defensively they're having to play as well. Not really willing to step outside of their jungle line, trying to play the safe as they can, taking whatever resources they can, which means you start losing control of the important ones. But Kutcher's on the tower here. That tower's going to go down.
is Niels feels like he's not doing a whole lot of damage right now. Loda goes in, but I don't think he's going to survive that one. Kutcher is basically invincible. There's another kill coming through for the Alistair. And now it's time to siege in this mid lane. They're looking for this inner tower, and they should be able to get this one with ease after grabbing those 2 kills. Aki, he's not done just yet, though. He wants a little bit of a fight on this one, and he's going to be able to protect the tower.
And you can see now why Tara is just regarded as so obnoxious by so many players. It doesn't matter how much damage you take, you can heal it back up again incredibly soon thanks to the cooldown on that ultimate as you start stacking your items up. But now, Abyssal Dragon is on the cards. It's all about that XP and that global gold for the team just to keep on pushing this lead further and further forward. They're already finding themselves just under 4,000 gold in the lead.
Yeah, and now the last neutral objective on the map is going to be that Darkslayer. Yellowstar's caught, though, hand of hand. Actually in a bit of a 2v1. Alice is right there with him. Does she have the damage, though? Kevin on that support won't quite be able to finish off Aki, but Aki will return the favor. Loda gets the kill in the end. Beautiful stuff coming out from the Legends. They trade that one, 2 for 1, and elsewhere, another kill goes down. That means it's their turn to push some towers.
How many towers can they get is the question. A lot of work has been invested over time by Spandau Inferno to get 5 towers. If they can get at least 2 back, it's a start for Team Legendary. It's not going to be enough, but it's on the way. In fact, this might be enough.
Solar's going down. Kutcher might just follow as well. The healing is there, but it's not enough to deal with 4 members at once. And now this tower will be under siege once more, and with Aki there, they can destroy that so quickly. Hand of hand though, look at this, he's cleaning up the fight. Wants another one. Tara is out of cooldowns. Crixie goes down, and there's a beautiful little play coming out from Spandau Inferno.
Hand of hand, the Batman once again just showing his capabilities, being given all the time in the world to jump onto as many low health targets as he wants, leaving only Yellowstar alive to defend. And well, newsflash for you, ladies and gentlemen, Peru is not much of a wave clear, more of just a sit here, heal my teammates when they're available. Look how low it's gone already. Magic Prison!
Look at the damage!
Oh, the CC!
That was beautiful. Just Johnny chaining everything beautifully, and Kevin coming in to finish off the kill. Spandau know exactly what they want out of this game, and they know exactly how to get it. They've now got themselves a 4,000 gold lead, but most importantly, they've got that middle lane inner tower.
I'm wondering when the Darkslayer's on the cards for them here, or if they're happy to just keep on picking up kills as they go along. Being chased down though, here comes Loda.
Loda's engaged, gets a 3-man knockup, but he's not that tanky just yet, taking a lot of damage, and as is the rest of his team. They are falling like flies right now. Beautiful team fighting coming out from Spandau Inferno, and that's exactly what you expect. Living up to their name indeed. That was a 5 versus 4, and you can tell just by the scoreline, and now it's time to push down mid. They're looking to end the game.
And they can probably get away with it as well. Bring this series out to a 1-on-1 time, making us go all the way to game 3. There is no one there left to stop them. It's going to go down.
It certainly is. This base will fall. And Spandau Inferno, they're not happy about game 1's result, and they are turning this one around. It is 1-1 on the scoreboard, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to a full best of 3.
Sino there's purely thinking, guys, let's stretch it off. Get rid of the fatigue, and we're going to go for it game 3. We are going to win this series. We are not losing to the crowd favourites. We are going to show why we are legends in our own right. But admittedly, that was a brilliant game by Spandau Inferno. Everything just went their way. The Batman, as we said, early game got a few kills. That was all you needed to get rolling. Once you've got those first 2 items on him, he's nearly unstoppable.
Yes, certainly. I think the key thing with Batman is positioning, making sure that you're being proactive and getting these flanks on in. You can't just charge into any lane and expect to get a kill, but with this stealth available, you can flank so far around. You can find yourself in situations that most of the junglers and most of the assassins can't actually take the same routes that you can. And you obviously can't be seen because of that stealth. So a lot of opportunity to take huge advantages if you can find those situations. And we saw Hand of Blood, obviously, doing a fantastic job of that during this game.
Question now as well is, do we see Team Legends banning away the Batman just to deny that snowball pick which worked so well for them in this last game? Or do they say, you know what, we think we've got an answer to it, you take the Batman and we will show you what we're really made of?
I would love to see if the draft swaps around now, so Legends are banning first. I'm not sure whether that will happen. I would love to see Batman banned and then Butterfly first picked. I think that would be a really solid start to the draft, because definitely Batman and Butterfly are 2 incredibly influential picks. Like, if you, or Murad as well is one of those that's up there. Like, these assassins really control the fights. They're the ones that, if they can get onto the backline, if they can annihilate 1 or 2 squishies, because mostly it's AoE as well. That's the key thing to bear in mind. These assassins can melt multiple squishies at once, so it's so crucial that not only do you have control of those on your side of the field, but also you're able to lock down your opponents.
Yeah, Butterfly's one of those ones we've seen quite a few times today, but Murad, you did touch on him just now, but haven't seen him once. No, not once yet, and really, I thought it'd be something we saw if Batman was banned away and maybe Butterfly was taken, you would counter it and take the Murad, but let's find out how it plays out into pick and back.
Crixie, looks like that might just be the ban to start things off. Spandauer, not a fan of that harassment. Batman, it is going to be the ban. You're absolutely right. Yellow Star being the one to ban that one away, and Violet will be taken then. Violet, we've seen used to great success across the course of today. But Ignis, that's going to be locked in for Aki. We've seen him play that earlier. He did a fantastic job of that as well. But we have that Valheim as well, which, you know, Valheim very much a staple pick across the course of today. But Butterfly, we mentioned, is the other kind of super strong assassin. The only other incredibly strong assassin still available would be Murad. So I would expect Legendary to pick that up, but only if someone plays it, you know? They don't necessarily have these infinite hero pools like you'd expect in other games.
Absolutely, yeah. And Aki, as I said earlier on this morning on the way here, he was saying to me, Ignis is the one that he's been playing the most, the hero of choice for him in Arena of Valor. So clearly now he's thinking, I'm going for this one, we're going for the win, I'm playing my main. And a lot of things exactly the same. He played Slims earlier on to great effect. In fact, we saw the clip of Cyanide saying, what the hell is that spear range, man?
Yeah.
And now he gets to play with it on his side. So it seems really everyone is sticking to what they're comfortable with. Although Yellow Star may be going towards this Valheim is a bit of a surprise, given what he's played for most of today.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, way old school, he was an AD carry main. So we'll see whether that comes into play. Neil, with the final pick here, maybe
Grak.
looking for Mage Grak,
Yes.
I would like to see. Yeah, Phil's, you get another tank on the team, but also that pull can be the deal breaker for your opponents. But the most important pick of this entire draft, just Johnny, going to be locking in that Alistar again. We saw him absolutely destroying on that Alistar last game. All of the CC, all of the damage he was able to do, getting so many picks for his team. He's the guy that I definitely want to be watching out for here.
Definitely, and watch Kutcher again on the Tara. We saw how well sustained that tank can be once you have that ultimate available. So maybe if they can keep going, basically repeat more of the same as what we saw last game, more of those brilliant lightning prisons to trap the enemies in place, more of the tank that just cannot be killed but does a hell of a lot of damage when in the middle of an enemy team. They may just find themselves being able to compete against arguably the strongest set of picks we've seen the Legends take so far.
Let's see if that's something that can to pass on this one. Certainly going to be a challenge for the Legends right now. They've lost their momentum. Spandau Inferno off on the back of a strong win. They're the ones that kind of have that momentum. They have that ability to roll this one onto a 2-1. However, the Legends are not going to go down without a fight. They had some great moments in that last game as well. And we're seeing more of their signature picks, I think, coming through here. We've got Aki on that Ignis. We've got Neil Fails going for that Grak again as well. So, and also Loda, the game that he won earlier on today, he was playing Slims. So maybe this is a more successful composition for them. We'll have to see as the game goes on.
I see them just kind of setting up as a duo as well. Is that a grab comes through is all it's going to take. And in fact, speaking of a grab,
at that. Great way to start that game off. Loda's spear was on cooldown, so I couldn't chain it with the stun, but certainly a good way to start the lane, getting a good bit of free harass down and making sure that they have to use that regen early on.
Yeah, but imagine once they get towards level 2 and 3, once they start getting more of them, they have the capability then to start getting more slows down piled up once one of those grabs lands. But, you know, Neil Fails is already showing there, guys, I can land these hooks, you best be afraid.
So here's Cyanide hanging around in this top lane, giving solo XP right now over towards Yellow Star, letting him soak up these minions by himself. And Cyanide actually rotating down. This could be a potential mid lane gank. We'll have to see where he does go with this one.
Another grab lands.
Ignis, there's a beautiful grab. Pulls him under the tower, but they get the kill first. They don't even manage to finish Kevin. That is disastrous for the Legends.
How on earth they managed to get that grab under tower range and still not finish him off and lose their own life is beyond me. That should be the kind of play that you should never be making. If nothing else, go back and try and ignore the poke that's coming through from the Violet.
Johnny with a nice flicker on out there. To be honest, I'm surprised at how little flicker we've seen coming into play Obviously, it's a tiny little gap close on a fairly long cooldown, but it can easily save your life, and that's the situation that we saw that coming into play. And it's not something that we've seen everyone playing, but Johnny has played it every game so far.
Kutcher taking quite a lot of pressure here from Yellow Star, who's quite merrily shoving him in. Let's go for an engage. He wants to try and get him off this tower. It's already below half HP, and given that gold over early on, we saw what happened last time around. It didn't really work out too well for the losing side.
No, he did not. A lot of spots out the fact that they've just lost that dragon. They're not going to be able to get that for themselves, and that's going to be a good bit of regen going over to the side of Team Spandauer. And over up on the top side. Oh, wow, look at the damage onto Aki. I said we needed to watch this guy. Just Johnny grabbing himself a solo kill. Now Kutcher engaging up in this top lane, has his ultimate available, so that regen will be there. But has he used it in time? The answer is no. Gets shut down. Yellow Star finding himself a kill, and now Solar's alone.
Here's where here comes hand to hand.
Or is he? Hand to hand comes in, gets the resets, and will be able to finish off those kills. Actually, both members do go down though, so hand to hand, the only survivor in that situation.
And that's probably just the way he likes it as well, with 2 kills going over to his name. What did we say last game? The Batman with these early kills is incredible. We can change that and describe it much better by saying assassins with these early kills are much better. And giving it over to Butterfly, well, good luck dealing with her once she's got her first couple of items, because she's an absolute monster. Again, if you missed it earlier on, she gets resets every single time she gets a kill or an assist. And with the damage that she can put down, she can chain them together so ridiculously quick.
And one of the things you've got to be worried about is the fact that when you look at the side of Team Legendary, you have 2 marksmen and a mage with no assassins. Assassins are definitely one of the, in my opinion, the most powerful archetype right now in terms of Arena of Valor. Definitely incredibly influential. Look at this damage coming out right here. Cyanide's been caught out, and he will be finished off. But that's the thing. Everybody on the side of Team Legendary is pretty squishy, other than Aki and Cyanide, but Cyanide apparently squishy enough for this team.
Oh, who's going to get hold of the Spectre? Oh, I think he picks it up there with the AoE.
Yeah, I think Kutcher got that one in the end.
No, I think he got picked up by the red shuriken that came out of Yellow Star.
Trying to look on the minimap for where the vision goes. We'll have to see in a moment, but grouping up for this dragon once again. Looking to grab that for themselves. Actually, just going to be walking past that one, heading towards this mid lane instead, because Cyanide trying to hold this tower against 2. Aki going to help him push this one out.
We've already seen so many times from Just Johnny though now. What he will do is always drop down his first ability, which is like a line stun. If anyone walks onto it, they get stunned, or if he drops it on top of them, they get stunned straight away. He then drops his slow and damage field, which is his second ability, and then locks them in the prison, the magic prison, with his ultimate. And when you have all this AoE damage over time, damage coming down onto you, there is nothing you can do while you stand there stunned for 2.5 seconds, which is why Alistair is so oppressive to deal with.
Oh, look at this. Aki engaging on that, but Kevin, not really the target that you want to use your ultimate onto right there. And this is a bad fight. Good amount of CC from Neil Fells, but there's just no follow-up available. And it means that they will walk away. The hook doesn't quite land. Cyanide has now arrived on the scene, but look at the lockdown. Again. Look at this coming out from Just Johnny. Secures yet another kill for his team. Beautiful stuff. And once again, the Legends being bested right here. 7-3 scoreline.
And it's straight up fight. You would always say if you're placing off some guys against some legends of other mobile games, that it would go the way of the Legends, but a masterclass almost being given to the Legends here by Spandau Inferno, playing fantastically thus far. And you've got to give most of this over to Just Johnny. The way he's playing is exemplary right now.
Also, hand to hand has been
absolutely
everywhere that he needs to be. That's the crucial thing in this game, is rotational play, knowing where you need to be on the map and being able to capitalize on those situations. Nice stun coming out from Loda, though. The longer that spear goes, the longer it will stun for Cyanide. Going to try and capitalize on this as well. The stun does come out on Cyanide, though. Just Johnny gets away with his life.
The stun on those spears when they hit at max range is absolutely insane. You can see now why Cyanide hates them so much. But earlier on, he was...
why they banned it last game, but here we go. Hand to Hand has jumped on in. They need to finish off that assassin, but they're not going to be able to do it. Hand to Hand jumps back on, looking for the resets. Finally shut down. In the meantime, though, Neil Fails so low on HP. He'll be finished off. And Yellow Star, he's come in, but it's too little too late. He's going to get locked on down and finished by Kevin himself. And there's a tower going down as well. It's a 4-for-2 as well as a tower. Spandauer Inferno are putting Team Legendary in the oven.
3,500 gold in the lead too, and look at the level difference. They're all level 9, and there's still, after that tower's gone down, now 2 of them have leveled up to level 8, but they're still a whole level behind essentially as a team here. Not to speak about the gold difference that's coming through, and you can look at each individual member on Spandau Inferno and say, what contribution are you having? And you can tell exactly which it is. Kutcher had a very rough start to the game in that top lane, but has now become the tank that is nigh on unkillable. And Kevin, he's a machine all on his own, wiping everyone else out. And we've already spoken about Hand of Hand and Just Johnny. They are, as a team, they're coming together ridiculously well.
So talk to me a little bit here, Derry, about how we've got to this point in the game before this fight actually kicks off, although I'm not sure we're going to have time for that one. Kutcher's been hooked on in. He's going to be able to spin to win, get that regen going for himself. Neil fails, trying to get this CC down, but it's on the wrong targets. You can't just CC the attack. Cyanide, next one to fall, but it's traded. 1 kill going their way. Hand of Hand has to be the target right here. You can't let him just tear through these fights like this.
Nope, but still walks away with a 2-kill advantage here, Spandau Inferno, despite that hook going so well for Team Legendary early on. It's crazy. Like, getting to this stage in the game, like, you asked the question a couple of seconds ago, is he going to go for a prison here? Ooh. Had his ultimate available, if he caught the prison there, he would have gone down.
I think he was just out of range for prison, so
yeah.
Can't finish that one off, but very close.
But getting to this stage in the game, it's been a lot of kind of individual fights coming through from Team Legendary. In the past, in the first game especially, it was take towers, group, fight, win. In this game, they haven't really grouped that much. They're being forced to now because they're back at their towers already, and it's so rough, it feels, because every time they go for a fight like this, the rest of the team collapse to defend.
Yeah,
like this.
Just Johnny, they think he's all on his own, but it's just not the case. Hand to Hand has been finished though. He has been a huge factor for this team during these fights. Cyanide survives. It's a singular pick for the side of Legendary. Can they turn it into more? Can they turn this into a team fight? They need to capture more off the back of this. A singular kill isn't enough of an advantage.
It isn't, but the problem now is you also have to consider that, yes, you might start picking up 1 or 2 kills here and there. You've got to deal with Solar when he gets into the late game on this Valor. Once he gets that full damage crit build, he can hit you and you can do nothing about it because the range that his tumble gives him for a double shot. They've got to start finding an answer now, whether it's start taking back the Dark Slayer, start winning back Drakes, get more of these towers down. Otherwise, Solar is just going to get to level 15 and completely dominate this map.
Yellow Star taking a bit of damage from Kutcher. Kutcher going to be able to heal himself up using that talent. And both players going to be able to walk away with their lives in that situation. No harm, no foul on that one. It's going to be a tower going down in the top lane. Just the minions taking that one. These siege minions do a huge amount of damage to towers, more than in other MOBAs. So you have to be very wary of where the minions are on the map.
Especially when we saw a couple of times earlier on today when you can stack 2 or 3 of them together. Yeah. They can walk through 3 or 4 towers on their own very, very quickly if left alone. And in fact, we even saw one of the games, they almost managed to bring down the base. Literally, 1 hit would have been enough, but they did have Grat there with his ultimate to be able to prevent them from firing, which is quite lucky.
Yeah.
But they are nothing to be ignored or seen as just gold in this game. They should be seen essentially as the 6th man on the team.
Yeah, the siege minions, especially those crossbows, but the super minions are the ones that can really tear through towers. The siege minions need something to tank. Just Johnny. This has been an MVP player for the side of Spandau, but not while he's in the ground. And now, this is the opportunity that the Legends have been needing to push. This is why Grak has been such an influential pick across the course of today, because you can find these picks and you can turn it into so much more.
It is, and picking off arguably the most important member on the team, the one who has that 100-0 capability with his combo, is huge. They're going to try and maybe rush. I thought they were going to try and rush there maybe for the inhibitor tower, but that seems like a massive risk, considering they've got a 5v4 on their hands.
Yellow Stars. Oh no, this is disastrous. That was not a good face check. Kevin's gone into the back line though. This is a 4v4 now, so even fight for these guys. Kutcher goes down. Kevin, very low on HP. Hand of Blood though is still alive, as is Solar. They're going to be cleaning this one up. Lodder all on his own will get finished off, and it's an ace coming through. Triple kill for Hand of Blood. And Spandau, they find a pick onto Yellow Star and they capitalize beautifully.
You just can't ignore him when he's in the back of a fight like this. And it feels like they've got so much on their hands to deal with. You've got Just Johnny dropping down all the CC, the Violet who is raining it down from afar, and then you've got Kevin in your face. Yeah. There is far too much for Team Legendary to win about here, and they are now got to worry about one of their main towers being down. That's going to be super minions pouring into the middle lane.
Yeah, you got to give huge props to Kevin in that fight as well. He was the one that was distracting basically the entire team Legendary while that pick onto Yellow Star happened. And he's more than happy to trade his life for Yellow Star because that's a tank for a carry, but at the same time, he knows that he can survive just that much longer than Yellowstar and has the CC to do so. So beautiful play from him. He survives the whole fight and it nets his team. It basically stops the momentum that Legendary were managing to build for themselves.
A massive risk to try and start the Darkslayer here as Team Legendary without a single member being down. Equally, one grab could be all it's needed to potentially end this game. We've already seen what happened before. If he catches hand of hand, that is dreamland for them.
Yeah, it certainly is. You can see the way that this team of Spandau and Inferno was walking towards them, Kevin on the front, so if a hook does come out, it just gives them a free engage at that point. Solar actually having to use his heal there just to survive this situation. Darkslayer does a huge amount of damage. One more hit, Solar would have gone down there. That was close, but Derry, for anyone who's just been tuning in, give us a bit of a rundown of what the Darkslayer is, because this is a powerful buff.
The Darkslayer smacks hard, it plays hard, and it makes you even more sturdy than you were before. It gives you a 30% attack damage and magic power buff, which in itself is huge, but it also recovers a hell of a lot of your missing HP and mana. 2% every second to be exact. So either way, if you're in the middle of a fight, you're doing way more damage. You've essentially got another man and a half on side if nothing else. And it just makes it so hard to defend against, because even if you're trying to siege onto a team with Darkslayer, they are healing a ridiculous amount of HP every single second.
Yeah, this is the point where Grak comes into play. You have to be able to pick one of these players off without them getting the full team fight, just to remove the buff if nothing else. And that's going to be a tall order for this side of Team Legendary. This is do or die for them now. This is the final opportunity to prove themselves here on the stage, here at Gamescom. And we'll see whether Team Spandau or Inferno are going to be able to put the final nail in the coffin and push on into this base.
We're also at that late game stage as well. Only 14 minutes in. It doesn't feel like it's been 14 minutes. It feels like this back and forth has been going on for much, much longer. But that's just how quick these games can unroll and how one decision can completely change the flow of it. Aki taking so much damage already, the grab does miss. So disadvantage to Team Legendary right now. And Team Spandau have got to be feeling great about this.
Yeah, they have so much regen as well. That's the key thing. Like, if you're the side of Legendary right now, you've got to finish someone off on a grab. You can't just get harassed down. You can't just poke people. You've got to finish a target off because that regen is so huge. But the Darkslayer buff has now gone. So this is the opportunity. Legendary are now even in these fights once again. I say even. They are pretty far behind in gold, but I mean, at least the buff is gone.
The buff is gone, and they can at least have good stun and wave clear. So even though you can even stun, of course, the super minions here as well. So if you can stun them out, it's not the end of the world. Or even the siege minions we see coming through.
Damage from just Johnny onto Yellowstar right there. And Solo will slowly but surely finish this tower. Oh, here we go. They managed to hook Kevin. He is the tank, though. They want that engage, but he's gone down before he can get all his CC out. Cyanide will be finished off. It's a trade, 1-for-1 in hand of hand. Gets on out of the fight without tanking the tower for too long. The hook doesn't land. Nuke fails, taking so much damage. The damage out of just Johnny is insane at this late stage of the game. And a hand going on to the backline. Trades his life for one of another, but he's got his regen available. Neil fails. He's only going to hook a minion, and then he's going to get locked up. He's going to go down. This is going to be the game going to the side of Spandau or Inferno.
And they win the whole series 2-1. The best of 3 against the Legends. They show up and demolish them as they're showered in golden confetti. They know they are the real legends of the first ever Arena of Valor tournament here in Europe.
What a beautiful sight to see. And, you know, they came in kind of throwing a little bit of smack talk around. They came in confident and quite happy to be M. But you know what? When you can win that convincingly, I think you deserve to. I think you've lived up to your trash talk at that point.
Does as well. I can't wait to see what he's got to say as well.
All right, well, let's pass it back over to the stage. Let's pass it to OJ Borge, who's standing by to take us through our final ceremony.
Cheers, Hun. Thank you very much. What a matchup that was. Did you enjoy that? It was great, wasn't it? I mean, just stay where you are for the time being. Everyone stay where you are for the time being. Man, that was an absolute bloodbath. You came, you conquered.
Of course we did. Like, was there another option? I don't think so.
No, but you know, we were talking backstage. I think everyone assumed that our legends, these are guys who are legends, that's what we call them, legends of the MOBA scene, we're going to come and stomp, and they did in that first map. And after that first map, you guys unleashed fury.
It was just the lag at the first game. Otherwise, the first game would be a stomp as well.
In the first game, we actually tried to give them a chance, so I didn't even connect to the game. So we thought like, let's do it at the 4, and then we noticed, okay, they can play like a bit, and then we just thought like, okay, do the Spandau Inferno thing and they crush them.
Yeah, he was just playing with it. Like second game, he was just using his elbows. He was that good. So let's talk to the legends over here. I mean, what went on there? Talk me through what happened.
Well, I mean, it's obvious, right? After that long pause in the first game, we started lagging and it was impossible to play anymore. Like, who are these guys over there?
So, you know, obviously we've had the confetti moment. There's gold stuff all over the place. We've got a bit of time left. We've got a big audience. Would you guys like maybe see a best of one? Would you want that? Would you fancy a best of one? Would you guys go again? Double or quits? Yeah? You fancy it? Would you guys go double or quits? Get your headsets back on. If you want to hear it, if you want to see this, give me a hell yeah! Let's do it. Let's do a best of one. Headsets back on. Headsets back on. We are going to go for one more game of Arena of Valor. Double or quits. Let's see who wins. And to do this, I don't know if the casters are back in position yet or not at all. Guys, if you are, take me through this. We're going to go double or quits.
Don't worry, OJ, we are ready and raring for this one. We're going into a best of one. We're going to go double or quits. This is the opportunity for Team Legendary to pull themselves back into the series, because there may be some bruised egos on that side right now, judging by those interviews.
I imagine now there's probably some very, very quick chatter. Right, guys, we've got about 2 minutes here to come up with a strategy to counter what we've seen. We've tried banning out Batman. It didn't work. We faced off against Butterfly. We got destroyed. What can we do about this? Can we ban one, pick one ourselves? Can we... You know, they're always going to find themselves in a situation, I think, where there is an assassin on the other side they've got to deal with. So they've got to think of a solution really, really quickly to be able to handle Hand of Blood, because the guy is an absolute machine.
Yeah, they need to somehow lock this guy down, because he has been running riot. And the thing is, they've got this beautiful thing going, Spandau Inferno, where in the early game, Hand of Blood just starts to run away with things. He's distracting everyone. He's tearing through these fights. And in the meantime, Just Johnny is farming away. He's building up his items. He's getting relevant. And then there's a moment about maybe 15 minutes into the game where Just Johnny's damage starts to skyrocket, and the second anyone is out of position, he'll lock them up with CC. He just needs one other teammate nearby and is able to just annihilate their health bars.
It kind of had his peak, I think, in the mid-game, where every single time he came across someone, they would die. End of story. Later on in the game, he got himself caught out once or twice, to be fair, got grabbed over the wall a couple of times too. You know, Neil fails, definitely showing why his Grak is to be feared. But it kind of feels, how do you deal with this comp? Do you start picking away? And this is where things can get very, very tactical. Do you start denying picks, not by banning them, but by picking them away yourself? Do you try and take away that Violet? And if they take the Violet first pick, do you try and deny the Tara from them? Do you look to take away some of the other powerful picks that they managed to get through that draft phase?
I have to see how the draft phase is going to go, because these picks and bans, they've been fairly varied across the course of today. We have seen a few picks that have been incredibly common, looking at things like the Arthur, for example, that's being hovered right now. And there's a few other picks like the Butterfly, like Batman, like we've seen Just Johnny loves his Alistair. We'll see how this one's going to pan out, whether we see the same kind of similar picks. But importantly, Arthur, that's been in the hand of Team Legendary every single game of this series so far. So that being removed from the table actually could hurt Team Legendary pretty badly.
Maybe it's the thought for Spandau there. They just don't want to deal with it in the middle of these team fights where he does have 2 lots of CC in his kit, one of them being on a 5-second cooldown, and you just don't want to face off against that. To ban it away, maybe try and force them to make a change that they aren't going to be 100% comfortable with. But equally, once again, Violet is going to be that first pick here away. Solo just keeps thinking to himself, we just cannot afford to let that go. It's far too important.
Here we go. Butterfly is going to be locked in after the ban of Batman right there. So Aki grabbing that one for himself in Yellow Star, getting the Valheim. Natalia, though, this is a pick that we've seen a few times today, and this is something Yellow Star himself was doing exceptionally well on earlier on. Similar to the Alistair in terms of has a lot of CC, but also has a huge amount of damage. I would argue a lot more damage than Alistair does, but less CC. So that's the trade-off. They're going to give that to Just Johnny. We'll see whether he can control these fights in the same way.
Yeah, and Hand of Hand being on the Zephyrs here is a little bit of a step away from what we're used to. It is still a Warriors, one, of course, that you're very, very familiar with, and take great pride in, I suppose you could say, is a warrior at heart, isn't an assassin, but can still do that high amount of damage. Just isn't maybe as mobile as what is used to with the Batman and with the Butterfly.
We'll see how that's going to pan out for them. I will say, Zephys is actually not one that I've played a lot. That's Xanis you're thinking of.
Other way around.
But Zephys definitely...
They're at the end of the alphabet.
I'm not saying Zephys isn't good. I'm just saying I've not played him that much. Grak, though, is going to go over the way to Spandauer Inferno. We've got Crixie, as well as Kresh on the side of Team Legendary. And it looks like they're going to finish things off with a Thane. Kutcher, once again, going to be on that Tara, having that regen for himself. We've had a little bit of a switcheroo right now. We've got the Butterfly on the side of Legendary. We've got the Grak on the side of Spandauer, changing the pace of things just a little bit and swapping around the roles. We'll see whether this is going to be enough for Team Legendary to pull themselves back into this series.
It is. I like they're taking the Grak away there and for something different. But Neil Falls now gets hold once more. Neil fails, sorry, once again gets hold of the Crixie. And I love the fact that they've gone towards this Kresh. We've seen how obnoxious that is to deal with. You basically gain a shield the size of your normal health bar, and you get a move speed, and you get everyone knocked up, and you're absolutely massive and slow everyone around you. Like, overloaded or not, that's how impactful it can be. But maybe that's what they need in these team fights, because time and time again, they're starting off fights pretty well, and then they start losing one or two members, everything falls apart, and the wheels come off the wagon, and they just completely fall apart. So hopefully, with him in the front line being this huge, look at me, I'm slowing you all, I've got a huge shield, good luck dealing with that.
And one of the biggest things there as well is the fact that you're going to be able to be in the way of Grak. He can't just get easy pulls onto squishies when there's a Kresh in the way. You do not want to pull a Kresh into your team. And there's also going to be the Thane for Loda. So two big beefy frontliners coming out for the side of Legendary. And now we're getting on into this game.
We are indeed the final one of the day as well. It's been an absolutely fantastic first day in Europe for Arena of Valor, and it just kind of goes to show, just seeing games of this caliber is super, super exciting. I'd love to see more of it after today.
Yeah, for sure. Don't forget as well, up in the top right of your screen, you can see a code. You can enter that on the Arena of Valor app, and you will be able to get some free in-game swag. As you can see underneath it, it's limited to just 100 of them. So the first 100 people to type that in will get it, but that is all. So make sure to get on that ASAP. Oh, beautiful hook. What a way to start things off for Kevin right there. Loda taking a huge chunk of damage.
Kevin showing Neil Fails that he's not the only one who should be considered scary with this Grak, and landing himself a fantastic hook too. And already that's Loda, who's going to be finding himself very, very low in this lane. Either needs some support from his jungler, who is on this side now. The Butterfly is coming quite close. But is it going to be enough to be able to shut these two down?
That's going to be the question on everyone's lips here. This time, we're going to see Yellow Star actually solo laning up towards the top side. We've seen Cyanide playing with him a lot across the course of these games. He's going to be able to win out these elongated trades like that. If he can continue to attack after the trade has happened, he will win the trades. But if it's just a burst, it won't go his way.
Yeah, Kutcher needs to get his ultimate really before he starts taking trades like that, because once you out-heal the damage that you're being received, or you've got more than enough armor that you can deal with it, it's absolutely fine. But right now, having to force heal as well, just to stay in the lane.
Kutcher being bullied pretty hard. That's kind of what you expect in that matchup, though, ranged up against melee. It's always going to be difficult to go for those trades consistently, and once your regen is on cooldown, you're in a bit of a sorry state in that situation. And it's a similar situation down in the bottom lane. Cyanide in a 2 versus 1. Needs to be careful not to get hooked. Hand to hand. In the meantime, looking for a solo Abyssal Dragon.
To get that one taken away. He's done it a couple of times, actually. We saw this in the last game very, very early on. Even in the first game when they were behind, they still took the first Abyssal Dragon. So clearly, they value the 500 odd gold that gives you, plus the experience it gives everyone. Just give you a slight edge. Already, look at levels. 2 of them are level 5, 3 are level 4. And on the other side, 4 members are still at level 3.
Certainly our Loda. Let's head up towards this top lane right now just to shove this minion wave underneath. But Kutcher going to be quite happy to use his ultimate just to heal himself up in this lane. Not the greatest size cooldown on that ability, so he's quite happy to just use that for sustain.
Yeah, it will be 30 seconds or so until he can use it again, but realistically probably isn't going to take that much poke given how slowly the minion waves spawn here and approach the lane. Just has to make sure he sustains the next one. He can heal back up probably to full health after that point.
Yeah, it's the kind of situation where you're not worried about a team fight in the next couple of minutes, so it's not the end of the world if you do use that just to keep yourself in lane there. We're going to see Crixie heading back towards the mid lane. Neil Fails, going to be playing that Crixie. We've seen how great he is with those skill shots, so definitely something he's good at, but Yellow Star being grabbed. Kevin has been on point so far. Sola's out of energy, though. He doesn't have the mana available to roll, and that means Cyanide can bully the two away and keep his carry alive.
damage.
Going for this one. He wants to get the kill onto Solar. I don't think he has quite enough damage to finish that one off, but beautiful bit of play.
Yeah, when Cyanide gets in front of you like that, it's very hard to hit anything except him. But hand of hand on the tower here.
Yeah, diving onto this one. I'm not sure how wise this one is. Kutcher doesn't have his regen remaining. There's a nice knock-up. There's not a huge amount of damage right here. Aki takes a little while to ramp up, but will be able to grab himself the first blood of the game, and that's definitely the target you want it on.
And first blood goes over to the Legends. Last time around, it was Spouter Inferno who managed to walk away with it. Or Spandau Inferno, sorry. But in this case, it's a great start for them. Kutcher's ultimate did come up about 5 seconds after he died, but it's no use unless it's available at the time.
Take a look at the gold differences right now. This is how influential First Blood is. A solid 400 gold difference above everyone else in the game right now for the likes of Aki. So First Blood is incredibly significant, and especially on a character like Butterfly, you can really snowball them.
There goes the tower. Small advantages time and time again. We keep saying this global golden experience really, really helps. So getting these towers down early alongside the Drake, the Dragon, which is now back available again, is wonderful for them. And now Team Legendary might try and even it out with that Abyssal Dragon.
They can look for it, but definitely know it's happening. Spandau Inferno not going to let this go without a fight. But we'll see whether they have a choice on letting this one go. Abyssal Dragon actually being pulled halfway around the pit there. Yellow Star trying to get a couple of hits on that. We'll have to back away.
Stretching his legs, go for a walk.
But now you can see both teams starting to group up towards this mid lane. Actually, Cyanide looking for an engage right now. Solar gets knocked up. Cyanide, huge right now. Gonna get the slows, gonna get the knockups, and gonna be able to get that first kill. Neil fails, doing huge AoE damage on that carry, and he's going to be able to look for more as Aki dives the tower, gets the resets. It's a 4-for-0. Cyanide doesn't even go down in the end. It's a triple for Aki, and a massive fight for the likes of Legendary. Oh, it's a quad kill, in fact.
Coming through, all 4 members getting completely eliminated by Aki. The resets come through, you just mash that ult button, and time again, it will jump between the targets for you. They'll die, you'll get the reset again, jump once more. It's so quick and easy to do when you've got it set up that easily for you.
All right, Kutcher hanging out at this top tower, but he's all on his lonely lonesome. There's a whole lot of enemies right here. Has a lot of regen, though. This is the strength of the pick, but it's not enough against 4 members. Now, Loda needs to try and get away with his life. He's on that Thane, which very tanky hero, but not when you get pulled on in like that. Will be taken out, but it's a 1-for-1 trade, so still not the end of the world. Team Legendary still going to be quite happy with that situation, although they just lost an extra member.
And it's starting to step away from them step by step now. 2,000 is the gold difference, but the towers continuously being poked. That seems to be their key focus in the early game, is get that standing gold on the map and the standing XP into their back pockets as quickly as possible.
And the Blood jumping on into this fight. Cyanide on the front line, though, will be able to block a lot of that damage from his teammates. With Kevin missing his ultimate, you don't really want to commit to Yellow Star. And this is why we've seen the bans onto Natalia. Just Johnny showing a masterclass in that, showing how strong you can be, and the pure poke damage at very long range that Natalia offers.
It's quite scary if she lands that stun and then gets the follow-up ability 1 coming through. It's never any fun to deal with. And it's the same story just as the rest of the team potentially as well. I mean, imagine if you get that lockdown when Solar's nearby with the Violet ready to just pop down some more long-range shots. It's nigh impossible to survive against them.
Certainly is. Ultimate coming out from Neil fails, wanting a 2v1 right there. Doesn't get any kills, but certainly gets a good chunk of damage down on some of his opponents there. Ultimate for Crixie, approximately 30-second cooldown, so he's not too worried about using that regularly. And the Abyssal Dragon will be taken away there. It's going to go onto the likes of Cyanide.
Team Legendary just trying to balance out the previous ones they've had to sacrifice, and you can see 1 apiece currently. 2 towers on either side have fell. So it's really not, although it feels like it's very much so in favour of Team Legendary at the minute with their gold lead, in terms of actual advantage on the map, it's nigh on nothing. Oh, Kevin.
Right, it's now negative for them, but Kevin has been found out right here, and he will be going down to start this fight off. They've used a lot to grab that kill, though. Can they actually turn this into a team fight win is going to be the question. Will they get re-engaged on? Because we've got just Johnny right behind them right here. He has the power to just burst a health bar down, but he's been found out. And Loda, he doesn't want to let him get away with this one. There's a nice little stun, and the rest of the CC will follow through. You can't do anything to Cyanide. He's too damn tanky at this point.
There's the Natalia's ultimate you have to watch out for, because that beam can really burn through 2 or 3 targets very, very quickly if finding the time. Unfortunately, the time is not best used or best utilized when you're about to get mauled down by 3 members of the enemy team.
Certainly not. There is a huge minion wave starting to push out in the bottom side of the map, so someone is going to have to go deal with that. Those siege minions do a huge amount of damage to towers, so it looks like Loda is going to be the one to go and deal with that, or at least he's going to grab blue buff first. I would expect him to head towards that bottom lane as well. It would have been wonderful if they had minions pushing on their side just to be able to start to take that outer tower, but unfortunately, we don't live in a perfect world.
Unfortunately, we do not. And 25 seconds is the timer on yet another Abyssal Dragon there. The respawn time very, very low, so you can see quite a lot of them cycling around in a game. That's just like Spandau and Inferno want to try and set up a death trap here. They have Kevin with that grab if they know where the enemy team is, but can't quite get them enough range to be able to pick off Cyanide. Going for it though here potentially. The grab lands.
Yeah, they've gone to Cyanide. He's got his ultimate available though and becomes just this tanky monster. The shield is gone though, but look how much they've used just to try and get onto this tank. And now they're getting re-engaged on. Kevin will be the target. Cyanide maybe gone too deep though. He went way too far ahead of his team. The laser melts through them. Aki on the front line. Can he get any resets? That's the question, because he might just sweep up if he can, but I don't think it's going to happen. Yeah. The stun lands. It's a shutdown for just Johnny on Natalia. And there is another beautiful fight from Team Spandau. They've closed that gold gap just a little bit, and they're looking for towers.
As soon as you saw that potential counter-engage come through the bottleneck, I just thought to myself, you just wait for that Natalia ultimate to come out here. And crossed across 3 members. It did not matter what Cyanide did. On the crest there, he still got himself melted down, even through all those shields. Brilliant counter-engage coming from Spandau Inferno, and showing a very, very high level of play that we haven't really seen too much of today. But that baiting strategy works so well that Kevin will probably lose his life in their attempt to take down that inner tower.
Kevin goes down there, but how much can they get off the back of that? That's the question. Can they turn this into a dragon? The Abyssal Slayer would be incredible. Or Abyssal Dragon is going to be the pickup. But the Dark Slayer over towards the top side of the map would have been an incredible pickup off of the back of this, but it's a difficult objective to take. It deals a lot of damage.
They've got to deal now with the Super Minions pushing up in the mid lane as well. Now that that inner base tower has gone down, they need to keep at least one close eye on that middle wave. Who's shoving it up? How many minions are there at any given time? If they're going to try and do what they're doing here, which is try and get towers for themselves, to try and stabilize out the creeping and closing gap that's coming in behind them, as Spandau starts to get control of this game once more.
Cyanide fairly low on HP though. They need to be careful. Oh, Loda's been found out. Will get knocked back on out. Cyanide getting a couple of knockups here. Kevin on the front line will go down, and the hand is incredibly low as well. They're so close to finish it, and that's going to be 3 for nothing for the side of the Legends right now. They want this tower badly.
That badly that they're willing to commit this heavily, although admittedly it was on a grab coming through from Kevin that let them get in that close level range. Neil fails, taking a lot of damage, but now they're knocking on towers themselves.
I think there's one thing we can learn from that engage. It's never pull Thane. He wants to be in your backline. He wants to be right in the middle of your team, and they set Loda up for a perfect engage.
You could always argue just don't pull a tank. It's kind of a rule of any other game that you might play in any kind of MOBA environment. It's just do not get the tank in the middle of your team, because they will cause havoc. And that's what we're seeing exactly in this game. And what you have to consider is, yes, the marksmen have CC, but the tanks also have a lot of damage potential. And just giving them that freedom to hit 3, 4 targets with generally AoE CC damaging abilities is the worst thing you can do.
Solar going to try and finish off this Owl and get that vision going into the enemy jungle, so they know where the side of the Mobile Legends are. Here we go, engage coming out from Crash. Cyanide on the front line. Look at how fast they finished off the likes of Yellow Star. That is a huge couple of picks coming on through for the side of Spandau. They could look towards the Dark Slayer, but I think they want towers.
I think they definitely do. I mean, Wave Clear is still there in the form of Crixie, but it's so easy to dive onto her. And you've got to consider, you've only got a Butterfly defending with you. The Thane, Loda, he's run after the bot lane. He wants that bottom tower trade here, potentially. But this is such a big ask.
He needs to head back to base on this one. He cannot stay there, because they will just take that inner tower if he does stay. In the meantime, someone's recalled to try and deal with his split push. So now, actually, this is a great situation with the respawns coming on through as well. This is the opportunity for the Legends to punish if they can chase down, but I don't think they're going to be able to find these members.
And quite wisely, Spandau pull back there, thinking we know that we're now at 4 members. We know they've got all 5 alive. And we know they're all headed for us. So let's just leave this one alone, peel back off. Now, my biggest concern is that potentially they peel away too far and the Darkslayer gets taken away by Team Legendary. But for now, they're feeling quite safe going in for this Abyssal Dragon.
And Team Legendary has an opportunity, if not to take the Darkslayer, then at least take control of the area. But they are going to start this one off, and I think rightly so. This is your opportunity to take an advantage that can straight up win you the game. The Darkslayer is absolutely massive for this team, and they are going to be able to take that one away, snuck from under the noses of Spandau. And now, we are going to see probably one of the fights that will determine who takes this game. This is the opportunity that Team Legendary have been searching for.
This is the biggest kind of confusion point for me, is that when you've got this advantage here as Spandau, where you forced someone to have to back to come and defend, and yes, you had someone recalled to go and defend against him, you shouldn't be in a position where you're giving up the Darkslayer. We said as they pulled away, they might just give up the Darkslayer here if they're not careful, and that's exactly what happened. And now look, they're the ones playing defensive, they're the ones sat in their base, despite literally a minute and a half ago, they were the ones knocking on the top tower.
Now the key thing here is the Darkslayer actually doesn't last very long. You have to be proactive with it and really make things happen. It lasts, I think, around 2 minutes. So we'll see what they're going to be able to do with that 2 minutes that they have at their disposal. They're looking to try and get some damage down onto this tower, but they're being fairly passive about the situation. They don't want to dive too deep and throw away this lead.
It's quite hard because Johnny's wave clear is really... Oh, what a grab!
Lodder's onto the back line, though. This could be huge, but he's not going down right now. Nobody engages on with him. Everyone just abandons him, lets him go down, and that is going to be a nice pickup coming out for Spandau. And now they once again have control of the map.
Stellar defense coming through from Spandau there, and once again we're seeing why Gruk is so popular a pick. We're seeing why Neil fails take him away. We're seeing why Kevin has picked him up here when he was left open. It's just simple things like that. A whole attack with the Darkslayer buff completely falls apart because of one grab. That's all it takes to dismantle an entire attack.
And that's why we've seen so much Grak across the course of today, across the course of solo queue as well. He's a very popular pick. But now you can see over on the bottom side of the map, Aki was looking to split push. He sees that everybody's vanished though, and he's like, I don't want any of this. I don't want to find myself in a 1v5. Has to back away. Another dragon going the way of the side of Spandau. Spandauer, sorry. My German's not exceptional.
The number of times you have to keep on saying it, sometimes you look at it and think, I've definitely said that wrong. Let's try it again. But that, all the recalls going through for Spandau, look how scared they are. They know that this push is coming in and there's minions behind them. Can they get to the tower in time?
Yeah,
no is the answer.
The side of the Legendary do need to wait for their teammates here, though. They can't go in for this one as a 3. Ooh, that was a little bit close. Aki just about getting away with that one.
I think this is the tough point for both sides, is that both sides have really good wave clear from just Johnny. He fires out one of those Arcane Novas, and once it explodes up off the Arcane Orb turns into a Nova, the wave clear is exemplary. Oh, maybe a trap coming in here, though.
This could be the fight that they need. It's going to be Lodder charging on in. Cyanide getting the stun just onto the minions, though. Kevin, the first target, will go down. Kutcher has a whole lot of regen, but they need to melt through these tanks. Look at the damage out of just Johnny. Lodder trying to get onto this backline, trying to deal the damage hand of hand. Is going to go down in the end. It's a double kill for Neil Fails. This is even.
One more. The dash forward from Solar here, watch it.
Just about getting away. Solar, he hits the wolf by accident, gets knocked up. Neil Fails trying to escape from this on accidentally targeting the mic column though. And here comes Thane getting the CC down. Solar takes a huge chunk. Lodder just about gets away with his life. Solar's in trouble. He's going to go down. Dominating from Neil Fails. Just Johnny. He wants to take this one on though. He has a huge amount of damage. If he can get another laser down, it's going to be off cooldown shortly for him. But Neil Fails isn't having any of it.
Johnny.
There's a stun. Johnny's in trouble. And Johnny is going to go down. There's an ace for Team Legendary.
They don't half turn it around there, but the issue they've got is once more there are no minions in the mid lane. They've still got the super minions pushing in the mid lane towards their own base. However, they could potentially look towards the top lane here. It's got 3 crossbows now, 2 now that one of them has died, but they have the option to go for the siege here. But this one pesky defending crossbow is going to stop them from getting anything.
Yeah, for now at least, Grak's going to be heading up towards that top side of the map. Abyssal Dragon once again going to be taken here. But we're starting to get to the point in the game where the Abyssal Dragon matters less and less. Everybody's level 15, so the XP is negligible. And the gold as well, you can see everybody starting to get towards 6 items. Obviously, we've got a couple of tier 1, tier 2 items mixed in there, but everyone's getting to that point where gold stops mattering. On the side of Team Spandauer, though, they still have a couple of members that need to grab those items. So it's more about denying the dragon from your opponent as opposed to grabbing it for yourself at this stage.
The one thing to watch out for in all of these fights, if they ever kick off because of the wave clear that's available, is watch Aki's potential to reset in these fights. If you see low health members, try and find out where Aki or Butterfly is waiting, because as soon as he sees the opportunity, he dives into the backline and makes sure those low health targets die so he gets the resets. Cleaning up a fight once they've got the first 2 kills is ridiculously easy for Team Legendary. The real issue comes in is they can't get those first 2 kills. That's when you'll see Spandau win the first fight.
Now, incredibly defensive positioning from Spandauer. They know how much is resting here. This is double or quits for them. They already won the series and they agreed to go into this double or quits match. Team Legendary, they may well be looking at double right here, as they are finding advantage after advantage right now. They have a huge kill lead, but they're against a Grak. You can never count out a team that's got Grak.
And it's probably the most annoying thing as well for, at least for Team Legendary here, is that when they feel like they've won a fight and they can go for a push, they've got to deal with the fact that there will always be super minions in this mid lane. Doesn't matter what they do, you can't rebuild towers, unfortunately, so you will always find that they are going to be pressing down that mid lane, and your minion wave, unless you can control it properly in between fighting the enemy team, is it will always be pushed more towards your side of the map. So they either need to try and get a slow push set up in one of the side lanes, so they can at least have the capability to try and make a push there, or they win a clean out fight where they get a 50 to 60 second respawn time and close the game out from that.
Darkslayer now will be going over to the side of Team Legendary. There's not really any way that that was contestable. When you look at the gold difference, 10,000, 11,000 in favor of Team Legendary. So Spandauer well aware that they can't contest these objectives right now. But a huge amount of these fights are going to be in the hands of just Johnny. The damage that he can output is enough to finish off these squishies. If he can land his laser onto the back line, it can be absolutely massive. But the question is that going to be able to happen, or is he going to get caught out? Can he land these stunts? Can he land this harass?
This big green Nova that you keep seeing is the wave clear issue that I'm worried about in a sense for the Team Legendary here, is they can't push in. But Cyanide's pulling the trigger super early and going for it.
It looks like they can push into me. They're more than happy to just force the issue. Cyanide charging on forwards as the giant squid man that he is, that we all know and love. He's going to be able to secure that mid lane tower. Now, the important thing is not just the fact that they get the tower in terms of them pushing, but it evens things up in terms of the super minions. Now they're going to be clashing. They don't have to worry about pushing out mid every couple of minutes once again. It's dealt with now, and now they can look towards other lanes.
Probably the most scary thing for them is that they can get a very good slow push going on in the mid lane. If they set it back up near their base and let 2 or 3 super minions gather together, we saw what happened just a couple of games ago, how much damage they can do to the base when they get a couple of seconds to spare. That's what they've got to really watch out for, I feel.
So much on the line for these players. This is a lot of reputation after the smack talk that Spandauer was spitting right at the start of this. There's going to be a lot thrown back at them if Team Legendary can take this one. It's looking like it's their game, but
Yellow Star playing it close to the edge.
That was a squeaky bum moment right there.
It's super risky trying to make things like that. Just because you want to try and get a bit of viewing over what's going on by seeing out of the bush, doesn't really matter, because if that grab lands, that'll be game over. That's a 5v4. They can push forward and potentially just tank up the base.
Behind me. Right, here we go. The siege continues. Darkslayer has gone now, but the supers are starting to push down mid. Kevin doesn't quite land the grab. He's in the right area, though. Both times that's been incredibly close, but
if you just step forward a little bit more, yes, it's putting your neck out a little bit and maybe get a risk getting caught or CC'd up by someone, but at least if you manage to get that grab, it's, you know, you've got to take risks to get the reward at the end of the day.
I've got to say, if I'm Team Legendary right now, I'd maybe just stand Lodder right at the edge of that bush, hope for the grab, and use that as your engage tool to actually force the issue right now, because they're struggling to actually make this siege happen at this stage. Actually, they're just going for this one, wanting to push on it. Lodder used his ult to start this one off. Yellow Star tanking a lot of damage from that laser. Kutcher onto the backline, has a huge amount of regen. Lodder is going to respawn from his passive right there. Now hand-to-hand on the front line is going to be the first one to go down from the side of them. The reset's coming up through. Aki drops though. Hand-to-hand dies for the second time. Neil Bells drops. Aki trying to finish off these kills. Gets another reset. Can he do it? He gets stunned up. Just Johnny survives. And it's a fight going out for Smacker. Yellowstar takes it. Team Legendary flipping on its head.
And they're on to the final. That's it. No one is left alive, and that is going to be turned around.
That was the
Quadra kill.
craziest fight. Yellowstar with the Quadra. He was down in his regen form. He had that item. It comes back to life and finishes off the fight after Just Johnny's laser is gone. That was insane. Everybody went down at least once in that fight. Most people went down twice. And then Yellowstar, the last man remaining.
You've got to think, what happened if they got that laser on point and managed to pick him off? That would have been the end of that either way. Incredible.
All right, now I want to remind you guys before we go, that was our final cast, but you guys can get involved if you want to get involved in esports for Arena of Valor. Join the Go For Arena of Valors that are going to be kicking off on the 10th of September. Every single month there are going to be 5,000 euros in prize money available, and also these are going to be qualifiers for larger tournaments. So if you want to be involved in Arena of Valor esports right from the start, that is how you can get involved. play.eslgaming.com/Arena of Valor. But that's enough from myself and Desitu. I've been Munchballs, this has been Desitu. Let's pass it back over to the stage to have a chat with our champions.
Thank you so much. You guys have been great. Great casting today. It's been such a fun event this has here at Gamescom. I mean, I'm not totally sure what happened at the end. We said double or quits. I mean, what went wrong in that final match?
I think we had some problems with the fish monster. It was really powerful and engaged on us, and we just had to huggle, like just stand in our turrets and try to hook and kill.
What you mean is you had lag, yeah? It was a yeah.
Of course. That's true. Sorry.
It's been great watching you guys play. Haven't they been great? Round of applause for Spandauer Inferno. And you guys got some pride back at the end as well. We said double or quits, and you came back to quits it up.
Yeah, it feels good to even it up. I mean, it felt a bit bad losing those 2 games. I think they outpicked us, and they had one guy who was really good. I'm not sure who it was. You know, it was the faker of Arena of Valor, I guess, at this time. But but yeah, I'm happy we came back.
Well, listen, you're both winners in my eyes, so some gold confetti for you and some for you as well. Thank you so much for coming here. I think it's been a great day. Arena of Valor is a great game to play. If you've not got it yet, download it from your app store of choice. Thank you for being here. Enjoy the rest of Gamescom. Good night. Round of applause for everyone.
That's how we do it.
Nice. Over.
Oh, we got it. Easy. Absolutely no problem. No, go get it.
I'm so happy I get to play the button.
Yeah, buddy!
I'm gonna catch him.
Ow! Not me again! Kill the beast! Fuck, kill her! Yeah!
I don't know what's going on, but we won it.
Boom, ich bin
Nice. Ja! Bitte runter,
Oh shit.
what's happening in the fights, you know.
Yeah, but